And it's go, boy. Boys go, they'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, a process man am I, and I'm telling you no lie. I work and breathe among the fumes that trail across the sky. There's thunder all around me, and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, I've worked among the spinners and I breathe the oily smoke. I've shoveled up the gypsum and at nigh on made you choke. I've stood knee deep in cyanide, got sick with a caustic burn. Been working a rough fight scene enough to make your stomach turn. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. There's overtime and bonus opportunities galore. The young men like their money and they all come back for more. But soon you're knocking on and you look older than you should. For every bob made on the job you paid with flesh and blood. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go. Well, I process man am I, and I'm telling you no lie. I work and breathe among the fumes that trail across the sky. There's thunder all around me, and there's poison in the air. There's a lousy smell that smacks of hell and dust all in me hair. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. And it's go, boys, go. They'll time your every breath. And every day you're in this place, you're 2 days nearer death. But you go.
All right. Welcome to On the Low, episode 19. We're about to bring in my co-host, Joe Schmo, and our special guest, Adam from Houston. He's a fucking baller. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Amazing. So,
But they, some of those shops are talking like they were turning out 6 cars a week at the 12 to 1400 horsepower packages. And you're like, I can't
Shit.
fathom a shop. Like, even once you get everything dialed in, how many people it would take to turn 6 cars finished a week from stock to 1400 horsepower, even if it is relatively like we just, we know exactly what parts to use, etc. That's just a lot of man hours of yanking out transmissions, pulling engines, swapping out parts. Even if you have all the jigs set up,
Yeah.
that's so much
You ever
work for a
sat
shop
in an
to do.
R8, man?
No,
These things suck, dude.
but they look
Like-
so good.
They do look good, but man, you can't see out of them, and they're engineered by assholes. So I used to work for a dealership, and I had to drive one of these things around and like take pictures of it so I could make its profile picture on their website and shit. and I need to like open the hood and do all that shit. And so, but I got to open up the mid-engine compartment thing, and it is impossible to find this shit. I literally had to look up a YouTube video to figure out that there's like a little switch behind the fucking seatbelt, behind the seatbelt.
That
It
seems
fucking
that
does
seems great. great
It's
great
German
design
engineering.
the
system.
little center window is like the size of a briefcase, man. You can't see fucking shit out this thing, man. It's just a bunch of motor. I mean, it's fast. Don't get it twisted, but I would hate to actually have to drive this thing around on a regular basis.
But the argument is, the RS7 is the gentleman's version, right? It's the one car that you could do everything kind of good in, right?
An
It's a great
RX-7.
grand tour. Yeah.
I mean, if you like ripping engines apart and shit like that, you're going to be part of a weird engine cult. If you
Yeah,
buy one of these
rotaries.
things.
Rotary
They
engine,
don't tell
bro.
you
No,
about that
not RX-7.
advertisement.
No, not RX-7. The RS7 Audi.
Oh, the Audi.
Yeah.
What motors that thing have? Is that the 4.6 liter V8?
Yeah, V8 twin turbo. It's
Oh,
hot sided.
it comes twin turbo.
Yeah, I think it's right inside the V, or it's either right next. It's either in the V or it's mounted. The turbo's mounted on the fucking manifold right at the fucking block.
Damn. There's a bunch of cars you can get to go really fucking fast these days. Like the modern GTRs put down some stupid fucking numbers.
Oh, and they
There's a
look
couple
so
people
good.
that have some Vipers that are like in the 2,000 horsepower range.
How do you
There's a bunch of Audis that do it, a bunch of Huracans that are really fucking fast. There's even some Porsches that put down a bunch of really stupid numbers.
what
Yeah, but like,
can they
there's
even
there's
manage
huge
that much
money
power?
difference with Porsche?
And if you got, hey man, speed costs money. How fast you want to go? If you keep on throwing money at it, yes.
Just like massive, like some. I mean, at some point it was like, did Bugatti not invent like a new tire compound or something for the
There's a
Veyron?
very
Yeah,
special. There's a very special tire made for like their top speed thing, but I mean that's because they're trying to hit ridiculous top speeds. When you start getting into powers that high, you're trying to just like tear ass across a quarter as quick as you can or something.
Right.
Yeah, and plus it's a liability, right? If you have a car that can go 300, you're telling someone it can run 300. That is a massive fucking lawsuit. If you sell them a car or you touch a car and do any work on it, and the tires are fucked, and you say, hey, I released the car back to the customer, in theory, they have to be able to withstand that speed.
I don't know. You'd think they'd make them sign off on something like that. They're like,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, actually, I take it back. No, it's not a liability at all because if you void your warranty and are kicked out of the club, if you let somebody that is not a Bugatti mechanic touch that car. And in fact, it costs $50,000 a year to have the mechanic come and fuck with your car and do the maintenance on it.
Dude, can you imagine? I know, like, and the tires. I think
But having that warranty
change
makes
them.
it worth more on the resale market. That's the catch. The collector's
tires-
thing, man. They know what they're doing.
I don't want to misquote, but
Yeah, they're not
it's
driving
something
us.
like 10,000 miles or every 2 years. So even if it sits in a warehouse next to your private jet for 2 years, it's like they want you to replace the 50 grand tires.
Yeah. Well, so I've been looking at weed stocks for like 2 years, something like that. I've really kept my ear down to the market. And when the pandemic hit, I figured it was a good time to hop in. Now, I'd already had a couple of positions that really weren't all that great, but I managed to snag one that was like, man, almost all the way at the bottom. And it's bounced back a lot, like a whole lot. And the market had been kind of cold about the cannabis play, but now that politics has shifted winds a little bit, man, people are starting to throw money back in it again. We might have another green rush in the not too distant future, especially if some legislation passes, which might happen soon.
What is the build that is looking like it has a good chance?
Oh shit! What was
For
it called?
it's for
More
federal
Act?
legalization, I think, right?
I think it was the More Act. Well, not legalization, decriminalization.
Oh, that's better. Even better yet.
Now I prefer them to legalize it because it would actually make one of my stock buyout options trigger, and I'd get like a lot of money, like a stupid amount of money.
Well, financially, yeah, legalization would be better, but just as like from a societal perspective, I think
Well, it's a step in
decriminalization is the
the
way
right
to
direction,
go.
no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, it's all legal semantic bullshit, anyways. It's just
Well,
it just comes down to how they're gonna apply the particular.
Yeah, well, it matters in the financial sector anyway because it's all about making that dollar bills. And
Dollar bill,
man,
y'all.
yeah, the cannabis industry's fucking wild. Do you know that? Do you know who John Boehner is?
Oh man, I've heard his name a lot.
Politician, yes.
Yeah, he used to be a speaker for the House or something, or like the Senate
Yeah,
Majority
that's
Leader,
where
maybe?
that's where it comes from. It was
I forget
one of
what he's
those
from, but he
pseudo
used to be
positions.
he used to be like top dog in the fucking Republican Party, and now this dude's a lobbyist for Acreage Holdings, trying to advocate for marijuana reform.
Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that railed against
He
weed
has
for
beautiful
fucking
eyes.
ever. And now he's saying my position has changed. Trying to advocate for marijuana reform.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah, that railed. Oh yeah, they're paying him money. I mean, like a lot of these companies are making more and more money now. They actually got enough fuck you money to make the political play. You're gonna have to do it eventually.
No.
And plus, it's a legitimate industry. There's a lot of money getting made
Man,
out there.
I want to know what the fuck he's doing to look like that when he's 71 years old.
I mean, we're already X-tagged, so baby blood, I'll say. It's baby
Yeah,
blood.
I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
He's adrenochroming hard. Like, he looks like a 45-year-old.
You gotta dip in the
dude.
Lazarus pit.
I'm serious. Like, who... 70... He was born in 40-fucking-9. He's been married to the same woman since 73. And he looks like...
Jeez.
I mean... So, yeah, Republican. But
I'm starting
he's
to think
also
this is
real...
more than Regeneron.
Yeah, no. Do you see him? Look up John Boehner, for fuck's sakes. It looks like he's also a big...
She looks 45.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Wow.
saying.
Yeah, like... Well, he looks like Tucker Carlson, right? Tucker Carlson's that weird 40 to 50, but...
Man,
You know what I mean?
so you ever see Jon Stewart blow Tucker Carlson the fuck out on Crossfire back in 1999?
No, but that sounds
No.
fucking sick.
Dude,
I didn't realize.
Jon
I forgot
Stewart
at one
made
point he
Tucker
had
Carlson look like a fucking fool. Like, Jon Stewart fucking manhandled this guy.
Let's see.
And that was back when Tucker Carlson was wearing a bow tie.
He did look cute in a bow tie.
Back when Tucker was wearing a bow tie. Okay. Yeah, 2004.
Oh, 2004? Got
Yeah.
me here a little off.
It seems like forever ago, man. Because, like, Tucker's changed.
Crossfire
Yeah,
was
well,
Tucker's show.
It was Tucker and some other dude. Tucker was supposed to be the conservative voice, and this other dude was supposed to be the liberal voice, and it's supposed to be, you get caught up in the crossfire.
Okay, yeah,
Left
I
versus
found it.
right.
You
They
want to
will
play it real
battle
quick?
in a fight where no one can win. Who will win? Yeah, go for it.
Alright, it's in your DMs. I'll be pulling it up in a sec. I'll let you know. I'm
Alright.
sending it to you as well. Sir Assassin, please don't kill me.
Before we get, as we have a break for a second, can we go back to the weed stock at some point? I do have.
Oh
a few
yeah, yeah.
questions
Joe
to
does
get
have
on.
specific.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like Ethereum
Yeah,
related
yeah.
questions too. I know you're
Yeah,
not
let's
like a
table the
huge crypto
Jon
guy.
Stewart thing. Yeah, what do you want to know about weed stocks, man?
So I've already decided, separate from weed stocks, that I'm pulling my money out of normal run-of-the-mill stock market shit that I got.
Are you loading fucking
And-
guns back there or what? Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Check your sensitivity, maybe. It sounds like you're ready to go to war side.
Wait, so are you going into crypto hard? Is that what you're doing?
Well, okay, so crypto short term, and I'm trying to decide if I want to take half of it and put it in to wheat stocks long term for a minimum of 10 years. So whatever I put in there is going to stay there. Because I know,
All
there are
right.
people rushing to it now. It's going to correct. And then
It's
eventually it'll be normal, right?
it's
Is
been
my
higher.
logic.
It's been much higher. So there was a green rush that happened in 2018 when they legalized weed in Canada. And a lot of people were buying American cannabis stocks too. And this is, you know, a lot of these stocks have issues on account that they're dealing with like all cash, moving armored cars around and shit like that. There's a lot of fucked up shit these companies have to deal with currently. And if they decriminalize this shit in the near future, it's gonna cut down on the overhead for a lot of these companies. And if they deregulate it a little bit and make it so these companies have some breathing room, there could be a really big shakeup in the way that cannabis is actually given to the normal everyday consumer.
Okay.
And especially since it would make everybody have to figure out what the fuck they're doing with cannabis. Like a lot of people would keep it illegal, but if it actually was forced where everybody had to vote on it or something, I bet you a shitload of people would legalize it.
I think so.
But
So,
I'm
alright, go.
invested in this company called Acreage Holdings, and Acreage Holdings has a deal inked to get bought out if they ever legalize it in America. This contract has like a 10-year runway, and there's only like half a year like still or like on this thing. So there's a good amount of time for this to happen, and a lot of it's a stock buyout, and you get stock of like the actually right now the cannabis company that has the largest market cap out there. Like they're worth more than any other cannabis company. They got a $5 billion investment from Constellation. They're the company that does the Corona beer and shit like that.
Hell yeah, Acreage Holdings. It just the name sounds marketable, and that's a big plus.
So I caught this thing like all the way at the bottom almost, and man, this thing bounced back like a motherfucker.
Do you have like? Do you know the
So
split that your specific split that you ended up doing? You don't have to give us any
that
more
particular one,
details than that.
like triple my money.
Woo! That's tasty. That's what happened with
But
me
that's
with crypto.
but
Thereabouts.
let's say they legalized it tomorrow. If they
Oh,
legalized it tomorrow, I would be up a very solid six-figure number. And I'd be like, it'd be to the point where if I felt like I could just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a decade off of work. I don't even give a shit. You know?
that would be so cool. Just do some traveling. Because if you
Or
travel
whatever. Well,
smartly, you can do
I
it
can't travel
inexpensive. Oh,
because
fuck.
I'm stuck in Texas.
All my exes.
But I would
live
have a
in Texas.
ludicrously fast car. I'm actually going to have to negotiate with my shop and figure out how much it's going to cost to do that build because it's not outside the realm of possibility that it could happen in the near future. So, I kind of want to know what that number is if I'm going to pull the trigger on that because that might be a major expense there.
Yeah, you mentioned somewhere else that you were pretty frugal, which is good
Yeah.
if you do get lots of money because you won't blow it all on random shit.
Well, I don't buy a lot of stuff, but the things that I use a lot, I have very nice versions of. Like my computer is stout as a motherfucker. I got some pretty snazzy little cars. I got like a bitchin' home theater system, and like I'm a nerd. I have a lot of really cool gaming things.
That's baller. Are you,
So-
do you, it's a little better. Can you do it a little more, Joe? He's just...
Now, the argument is for your computer, that is your job, right? I mean, if you're
No,
retired,
That's
well,
just
okay.
for funsies.
Yeah, but if you have a lot of money tied up into watching stocks and things of that nature, I mean, typically.
The hardware doesn't
Well,
have to
you
be
just
want to be
ridiculous
able
for
to do
that,
this.
right?
You can do that on your phone.
No, I know. I'm trying to justify it. I don't know. It made sense in my
Yeah,
head.
you're
No,
getting
I
good
don't-
wife reasons. Like, hey, well, honey,
No,
listen. Listen.
I just need those delicious frames. All these graphics that are for me. Like my computer's stupid. I got like a i9 9900K. It's like overclocked up to 5 gigahertz.
Yeah,
and I
that's
got
dumb.
And I got an RTX
5
3090.
gigahertz? Jesus fuck.
And I got
That's
an
just the
RTX 3090.
CPU. Yeah.
Yeah.
30. Wait, a what?
A 3090.
Oh, I thought you said it was a 1080 earlier. What the fuck?
Or yeah, that was what I had for before. So I built the guts of this thing like almost a year ago in prep of the next generation coming out because the prices on a lot of shit had gone down quite a bit. And so, but my old gaming PC had dual 1080s in it, so I just ripped one of the 1080s out of it. And once I built the guts of this thing, and I just used that as a placeholder until the next gen came out, which was the 30 series, because the 20 series was kind of fucking lame, and I wasn't interested. And it looks like they'd done a decent amount of shit right, and man, it's beautiful. It's so great. And, like, did you know that Cyberpunk is like an allegory of the of the game itself? Because if you're like, it's a game where the elite have all the coolest shit and everybody that's broke has like nothing. Well, do you know what? This game only works on really high-end fucking gaming PC rigs, and it's so awesome. I beat the game on a 1080, and it did have a decent amount of bugs, and it looked all right. But then I got my 3090 in, and I cranked it up, and I was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, that's what it looked like. Most of the bugs that I saw, it looked like it was rendering issues. A lot of the graphical errors. Now, answer me this. Is the crowd AI really shitty? Because supposedly, they were supposed
there's something
to have.
about it. They just don't act like people.
Well, if
they
you
act just
watch,
weird enough where it pulls you out of it.
yeah, if you watch a time lapse, you'll see they just walk in circles. They'll like walk to one end of the street and then turn around and walk to the other end and various shit like that.
They don't even respond to dangerous situations in a way that makes any sense. Like, they just act fucking weird. Like, there's no other way to put it. But there's a lot of really cool scenery in the game and shit like that. And I don't know. With as pretty as it is now, I'm willing to forgive a lot more, come find out.
Yeah, the game itself was a really good-ass idea, to be honest. And it seems like it was just...
Well, it looked beautiful. I was excited. And I was fuck. Glad it's not.
They can still patch it into a complete game. That's kind of the modus operandi of game companies these days.
You mean to hire female to male body?
Oh, yeah, that's part of
No,
it.
they just release an incomplete ass game and then try to patch it into a real one later.
Absolute horse cockery.
Yeah, no, that's the way to go. I think a lot of times they start off with good intentions, but then they just, especially if they get any kind of crowdfunding, they're like, oh, now we can do this, and now we can do this. It's a story as old as that one space game that's still not all the way done.
Oh, Star Citizen?
Yeah, Star Citizen.
That's a really good level. I will have you. Okay.
Yeah, the demo level looks fucking amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so...
So I heard y'all wanted to
that's
talk
weed
about
stocks.
criminality today.
Yeah, we can do that. We can just... I just have a couple questions about,
Oh, hang on.
some...
1 second. Anchorage Holding.
Yeah.
Is there another side?
You're clipping, Joe. You put the sensitivity down, or whichever way, too much.
Yeah, do some research into it because there's two different versions of the stock. One's a fixed share and one's a floating share. One is like buying the company itself and investing in just the company, and then another one is the stock that'll actually get bought out if that deal happens. And that one has a bit of a premium right now. But if that buyout happens, it's I mean, do the math, look it up. It's a hell of a fucking deal if it happens. But that's really what you're gambling on. But
Well,
there's
I'm
also
okay
other...
gambling the money. I mean, like, I know this is a gamble because
And this
separate
is just
from-
this is a disclaimer
Yeah,
for
separate-
any bright-eyed viewers out there. This is your investment money, right? You're not putting like your whole life savings into an
Oh
investment.
no! Like the money I put in it was
No.
fuck off money. This
Yeah.
is money I knew that if I just 100% lost it, I'd be fine.
Yeah, you can
I
come
knew
back.
that going into it.
I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, you shouldn't be gambling with money that
With
you
money
have
you
to
need, yeah.
have. Yeah, I mean, you could
Joe,
say, okay,
you
like, that
sound
is something you...
fucking perfect now. Thank you, sir.
I mean, like, this is something, you can, if you want to hold on to money, put in a fucking government bond. I mean, get your 1/1,000,000,000 of 1% interest over the next 50 years.
Or a CD
Or,
at that point. I mean, 30 years or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean,
Well,
CDs
there was,
or
man, I got
something.
I got a really good deal on some municipal bonds too. Right when the COVID shit kicked off, man, people were fucking scrambling for cold hard cash, and I managed to buy some municipal bonds underwater that are basically going to guarantee payout. So that's like free money. And
Yeah,
so Oh yeah, that was another damn good deal I found whenever COVID kicked off. Like I bought a bunch of shit when COVID kicked off
It was
because I
it
figured
was
that
if you had money, you should have invested it. You should have been. There's so many different things. If you could have fucking bought a shit ton of plexiglass and then just went around to stores and been like, "Hey, do you want this?" And mark it up crazy.
No Clorox.
Yeah, bleach.
I
there's
gloves,
turned
plenty of
down
companies that did.
Clorox in December.
Well,
In
cannabis
2019 in
actually.
December.
There's an area in Canada. I want to say it was the Ontario area. There was a couple of weeks where more weed was sold than booze.
Damn.
In the
That-
beginning.
that's
In the
crazy.
beginning. It was like 4
And
weeks,
I don't know
5
if it's
weeks.
happened intermittently since then. Actually, I can't quite recall, but I know it definitely happened. And that's something new.
Yeah, there was a mad rush on weed stores. Like California was sold out at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, shit. I remember when Nevada legalized it, and they had to declare a state of emergency because they were out of weed. That fucking blew my mind.
Caius Albus, thanks for the follow. No, that's the way it should be. I think everyone would be if every alcoholic could turn into like a weed addict. I think that would probably be a net gain.
I would prefer someone be a weed addict than an alcohol addict. At least they're not driving around killing people and shit.
Right.
And they're less inclined to be violent. So I'm about that.
Well, there's just you look at like the emergency room statistics and shit. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, weed is just better than alcohol. Yes, me. There's a lot of times I've had people trip out about shit. I'm like, just act normal and smoke more and chill out. Damn, dude.
I know. These
Like,
people
there's a
with
lot
their
of times if you
stories of
fucking chill
being
the fuck out
too
and smoke
high.
and shit.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
me a month ago. Like, trust
Man.
me, I had a fucking full-blown panic attack all night. But that
How
is
many
nothing
times have you been
compared
too
to
high?
0.
5 or 6.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've only been too high like 3 times, and all of them were from eating hash. I ate a bunch of hash, and I was
the
just
only
fucked.
time I've been close, it was a hash cookie. We had 3, and me and my buddy had 1.5. And man, we were in this ghetto ass house with holes in the floors, and no air conditioning, and this kid was playing some kind of World of Warcraft spin-off game, like a real shitty version of it. We were just watching him, and it didn't even fucking matter. I've never been like that before or since.
I did get stuck one time, man. I ate so much hash, I just got stuck to the couch, like I couldn't get up. It's not that I was physically incapable, but the mere idea of even sitting up seemed like I had to go so far.
Couch lock,
It
son.
was too much. Yeah.
So I'll hit you with a couple of my questions, and then we'll jump into
Shoot.
the criminality, which definitely I want to be the meat because it's such a unique position. So I remember. So first off, do you believe in an intelligent design creator? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then I think I heard you mention that epiphany kind of came to you during a psychedelic experience.
Yeah, I was tripping on acid, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. So what I wanted to ask you, something similar has happened to me, and
Yeah.
I was like me, I was raised very religiously, and so to me, I've always wondered, was that something that I experienced that was separate from that, or did I already have like a bias, so to speak, in believing it was just able to do that?
I was raised fairly religious too, but
Okay.
I really had fallen out of my faith for any kind of faith. It really wasn't mine to begin with. But having that little epiphany moment where you kind of just accept God existing, that was something that was like, kind of a personal thing, and I'm at ease with that. Like, that's something that actually makes a lot of sense to me. Now, however, I do have a complicated relationship with Jeebus, but that's like my
Yeah,
own
well,
personal experience. And actually, I'm a fairly religious person. I'm just not a douchebag about talking about it
yeah, well,
because it ain't polite conversation.
so like I'm in that way a lot because I have a set of belief systems, but I don't think that any of my beliefs warrant the government stepping into your life and making you do things a certain way. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by
Like,
that?
although I'm pro-life, I don't necessarily think it should be illegal. Even though I'm, uh, the
Yeah, well,
homosexuality one is a weird one. It's because, like, me personally, I'm not gay. I don't necessarily think people should be gay, but trust me, I'm not gonna tell you that you. Well, I guess I am gonna tell you that you shouldn't, but that has no bearing on how you live your life, and I'm not gonna judge you different for whatever, however you want to live your life. It's just
yeah,
like
well,
that was another psychedelic experience that I had where I just had this really weird just feeling that it was unnatural in a sense, and it's like a decadent thing, you know what I mean? It's like something societies do.
I can see where you're coming from.
It's just
Now, me
yeah.
myself personally, when it comes to topics like that, like I just believe that you shouldn't be able. There's a lot of things you shouldn't regulate. Like even if you don't like it, if you try to regulate it, it's just going to do more harm than good overall.
Yeah, I
And so
agree.
there's sometimes you just gotta accept, like take the L and move on, or something like that. Or sometimes you really do have to fight against things that are causing a lot of injustice, like the prohibition on drugs. This has really caused a lot of pain and suffering in America,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
don't
given us
like
the largest losing
alcohol.
population per capita in the world by a long shot.
I don't like alcohol, and I think it's really harmful to society, but I'm not going to tell you that you can't because I like other things. And someone may think that those things are harmful to society. They'd be wrong, of course, but they're free to have that opinion. And I
Well,
don't
my
know. I'm,
stance
I'm
is
just
that
like for as
as
small a
an
government
American, you
as
got the right
possible.
to shoot yourself in the foot. So why shouldn't you be able to take whatever the hell substance you feel like?
I mean, you can drive a car, which is arguably one of the most dangerous things you can do. And you're consenting to that just to get somewhere quicker.
Yeah. Well, I
Much
mean, I
less
can see
trying
them.
personal growth and mental health.
Like my personal stance on everything is they should do like fucking Oregon where they decriminalized fucking drugs.
That's a good ass segue, Joe. You had a question about that, right?
Yeah, so my question to you was, um, so Oregon has, man, screw the introduction. What do you think is the
I
long
fucking
play with
love you,
that?
Joe.
What do I
Well, I
think
mean,
is the
like
what?
literally what I had written down was everything you just said. So,
Webster's dictionary defines Oregon as.
Well, wait,
no,
I
but
don't
like,
think it was. Wait, was it the whole of Oregon or was it just like one of
Yeah,
the cities?
it's all of Oregon, and
Okay.
there was a lot of lobbying, I'm sure, from uh,
all of
people
them,
that own rehabs and stuff like that, because there's also going to
Well,
be
of
a lot of
course they
funding
would.
the
going into
cartel,
that.
you know,
Well, are you familiar with
politicians,
how Portugal
Contra,
decriminalized drugs?
No, I'm not.
Well, Portugal
similar to,
decriminalized drugs in the early 2000s somewhere because they had a
How did I
really
not know
bad
that?
heroin problem. Like it was bad. And they really weren't capable of just constantly throwing people in prison. So they decriminalized everything and then turned it into a public health thing to get people into like rehab and job training programs. And it was like a really big success. Their overdose numbers had like dropped by like a it went down to like 10% of what it was after like 5 years, if I recall correctly. It's something like that.
But yeah, well, that's exactly what I mean. If you
Now I don't know how their fucking public like the main thing that made it work was actually all the like all like the job training programs and shit like that, and giving people like temporary housing while they get their shit together.
yeah, I
yeah.
know that.
Plus, there's a different, community. There's very different social. I don't know
Yeah,
how you
well,
say it. Like,
it just
it's a
so
very different
happens that having a
environment.
job is a very big statistical indicator on whether or not you're a drug addict.
Agreed, because look at the people who, tried,
Wait, I'm sorry, I was
heroin
doing
or
some stream shit. Can you say that last thing you said again?
Well, having a job is a very good statistical indicator on who's a drug addict. Like, it's a lot more difficult to be a drug addict and really
Oh,
hold down a serious job at the same time.
that I would say that's accurate. Yeah.
But and on
yeah. I
top of
mean, look
that,
at the
if you actually have the means to make all the ends meet up, it puts you under a lot less stress. And if you were kind of like, a lot of people do drugs for different reasons, but a decent number of people do it for escapism. And if you actually got a decent job and you're doing all right, At least it'd make it so that you'd be just like socially doing it, and not just trying to abuse it or something. If you're going to,
Yeah,
but
I don't know. There's the whole school of
that
thought.
proved to be true in Portugal because it actually happened there.
There's a school
Like
of
that was
thought
that's
that, people can. Well, it just depends on the substance. But in my opinion, natural shit is definitely habit forming, even though it's less so than
a
chemical
lot of it
things.
is, yeah.
But
I mean,
that
cocaine's a
being
natural
said,
substance.
if you're going to do something responsibly, you have to look at it and realize that addiction is one of the possible side effects. And if you're not willing to regulate that yourself, then it does kind of go more into the abuse side of things. But
And
Yeah,
when you
well,
started it, right, there's a big difference with someone as far as how their brain or, was it frontal cortex or whatever, of someone who starts trying a drug at 25 years old versus someone who tries something at 18.
yikes! Yeah, no, I've
So
been.
I mean, like, and that's separate from job. I mean, if you have a job and you're supporting, your pregnant girlfriend at 18, and someone who's doing the same thing at 25, at 25 you have a much less chance of getting addicted to a drug, just because you're a different person. Your brain is very different than you are at 18. But I'm saying separate from that, I'm really curious how Oregon's going to play out over the next. I
yeah.
think 2 years.
Actually,
I don't think
I know
one
what
year
you're
is going to tell us
saying.
anything.
I've actually read a couple of things where people are playing the nature versus nurture card on that and having like a debate on whether or not people that were drug addicts would naturally be inclined to do drugs early versus people that do drugs early happen to be addicted. You track what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's well, and then
Mhm.
your environment, I
And
think,
there's
has a
actually
lot to do with
decent
it
amount of
too.
evidence pointing both ways, so that's actually kind of up in the air to a certain extent.
Yeah, addiction
Oh,
is.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
think
sure the
addiction is
difference
just
is,
now starting to be thought of as an illness. Where the
yeah.
vector is someone's choices, and
Oh yeah.
their
So
environment
in
and
case
trauma history.
in case people don't know exactly who I or like who I am, at one point I'd shot somebody and got sent to prison for a little while. And while I was down, I took a bunch of sociology classes. So I happened to have like written a bunch of papers about all sorts of dumb shit. And one of the things that I also did was help people study for their LCDC exam. So they have practice exams to become a licensed chemical dependency counselor. And so
Oh, very
basically,
cool.
you would be able. It's helped to actually pass the test, but once you still have to put in 4,000 hours of like clinicals or some dumb shit like that to get the thing. So you still got to work on it on the free. But if you have like, if you qualify to take the test, people would practice on the shit all the time. And man, some of the fucking stats about this shit are fucking depressing. Like, I mean, 90% of people are liable to relapse when they get out of rehab.
Yeah, and
That's that's a
what?
depressing stat.
It is, but you know who I would say is to blame for that? Um, for a long time there was an idea of admitting someone into a rehab and then just letting them go after they detox, which is horrible for overdoses and things of that nature. But there are
oh yeah,
executives that own rehabs that have no idea about addiction, and they see it as a bottom line. And so, I know of rehabs that are thousands of dollars a day to stay at that are, they're nice as far as the world is concerned. Like, most people in a second world country would think it's luxury, but the quality of mental health that they receive is just god awful. It's so bad, and I don't know if it's like a lot of these people are grandfathered in and they just have to die off, and they have like bad understandings of how addictions work. But I mean,
I don't
they would
know.
like print off worksheets, and that would be
Well,
these people
there's
that would
been
go to rehab. They'd tell me they do fucking like elementary school worksheets in their group
now
therapy
there has
sessions.
been a really big just say no like anti-drug slant that's kind of been part of the American culture for a long time, actually. Like the
Nancy Reagan,
turnaround
right?
on weed happened fairly recently, and it happened pretty fast.
Yeah, I would say relative to how long like Dare has been a thing, and since the 20s. I mean, it all really started in the 20s when hemp was too easy to grow, and so it was going to put a lot of people out of business. And you know the term marijuana is not a real term. It's just like slang
Well,
that the
yeah.
government created.
Well, it's to make it sound scary, like
Foreign.
Mexicans are doing
Yeah,
it to
exactly.
to violate the
Yeah.
wild women's.
And that's what
gotta
people
ban
call
the
it.
marijuanas.
I mostly call it cannabis for that reason, but a lot of people don't know that. They think that's like the botanical name for the plant.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of good uses for the thing, and man, I hope they legalize the shit because fuck, I would have something really dumb. Like, I kind of have an idea as to what I want to do to my GTR, and if I get stupid amounts of fuck off money, I'll probably get like a 3.2 liter billet block and like a full racing head, a big ass turbo, and then like a 6
The
speed
big
sequential
single.
dog box, and push like
What size
1300
turbo?
wheel. That's about what I was thinking. And really, my car, I can get it up to like 600 fairly easily. And really, you can get it up until like the 900 really not that hard. It just fucks up. Like, you're just going to blow your transmission apart. You got to
Yeah,
fix that.
it's gonna tear through that shit. Like you'll be
Yeah.
replacing all kinds of stuff.
But still,
Stock
even
location turbo, or you relocating it?
it'd be the stock location, but you replace the twins with a single. And I mean, now they got like twin scrolls and stuff like
92?
that. Like, turbos have come a long way since 1992 when the car was made. That was the year the Chronic came out.
And what is your car for people that are unaware?
I have an R32 Skyline GTR. Like, my driver's side's on the other side. I got it imported from Japan.
Fucking
I
holy
thought
grail
you had
for a lot of
another
people.
GTR. I'm sorry, my bad. No
Yeah,
wonder
so-
I was like, my bad.
Yeah, this thing's old school as fuck, dude. A blast from the past. But you know what? This thing is still fucking fast.
There's a black one in my town that I think it was like 6 months after they were federally imported?
It's,
What do we
yeah,
call
once
it?
they're
What's it
once
called?
they're 25 years old, you can just import them, and it's technically a classic car.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is meet safety standards. So all I need to do is prove that I have like headlights and some seatbelts, and that's all I got to do to fulfill my up end of driving this thing around. And actually, because it's a classic car, I only pay $20 a month on car insurance.
Damn, that's wild as fuck. An R32.
Yeah,
It's 20
this
bucks
thing's
a month.
fucking bitching, dude.
Damn, I'm gonna find one of those. I'll just
Well,
drop.
I bought mine for 24 grand, and really what it was is
Not
I've
a bad
invested in
price.
I invested in Tesla in 2015, and over a year and a half, I turned that 5 grand into 24,000. Actually, I turned it into 30 grand, and I spent 24 on the car, and then I had to get it shipped to my front door, and then I had to replace all the fucking rubber in the thing, and plus tax, title, license. It worked out to almost 30 grand.
What a bitchin' car though.
Oh, dude, it's so fun. And on
What
top of
trim?
that,
GTS? Or
a
GT?
GTR.
Okay, I always get confused with the trims. Can you explain this to me?
Gran Turismo Racing, dude. Like that thing
No,
is
I'm
fucking
sorry. Like,
fast.
what's the difference between the GTS?
Oh, so the
And the-
GTS-T is the closest thing to it, and it has an RB25, and so it's a 2.5 liter straight six, but it's also a single cam, and it's still
That's it. Okay,
turbocharged.
that's the big difference I'm thinking about. Okay.
Yeah, with but the RB26 has a crazy fucking racing hit on this thing. Like, it revs out to like 8.5 from the factory, dude. Like, this thing is fucking sick.
That's
And,
so crazy to me that they did that. Even back then, that they were like, over 8,000's a good idea, and you're like, I mean, is this like a track only 500 were made? They're like, no, we're gonna sell like thousands of them. Like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Well, like,
Yeah.
I mean, okay, let me rock on, man.
And this thing dominated the racing circuit. Like, it blew apart the Nürburgring record by like 17 seconds or something like that. It's like fastest
17
production car.
seconds is so fast. That's like a minute right now. That is like
So-
someone coming out from back then to now. That is like Mercedes coming out saying we have a new GTR, that the new GTR AMG saved a minute off the lap. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like 17 seconds on
80s, 90s technology is fucking insane.
This was 89 that these things first hit. So it's technically an 80s car.
Oh man, did you guys hear that
And-
cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in like 2 rooms over. Oh my
But
god.
it's got a really bitchin' 4-wheel drive system, and it can actually handle quite a bit
Oh
of
yeah,
power.
tell them about the differentials.
Okay, so are you familiar with the drivetrain of the Skyline GTR?
So what the hike is?
Well, it's got HICUS, but the HICUS is the 4-wheel steering system. The Ateza is the traction control system. And I got a HICUS delete on mine actually, and I deleted my anti-lock brakes. But the Ateza thing is there's like 3 differentials in the drivetrain basically. There's one in the middle that determines what's going to the front, what's going to the back, and then there's 2 more differentials that do left and right for both sides. And it has a crazy little, a bunch of sensors all over the place to determine how it's going to put the power down. And so it'll like actively move around the power between the front and the back and the left and the right. And man, it's crazy. You can actually kind of still control this thing driving on ice. It's fucking awesome.
Now, how does it dictate? Is it dictating it through pressure on?
There's
light,
5 different
or
fucking
is it a
fluids
computer?
in my drivetrain, dude. Oh my god. When I first got this thing, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because I had to replace all the fluids on this thing, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm having to hunt down all these different types of oils and shit like that to replace all these
Exotic
differential
fluids.
systems. It's just weird viscosities and crap. But I'll tell you what, this shit fucking works. Like this thing will fucking dig in a launch. It basically has 80s version fucking launch control, only it's on all the time.
Okay.
Damn it, Joe! You
And so-
keep getting loud and quiet. You son of a gun. Is there a way to turn it off where you can do burnouts, or can you break it?
Actually,
No.
yeah. I can just yank a fuse out of this thing and it'll stay stuck on rear-wheel drive.
That's pretty cool.
And so actually there's people that make like aftermarket boxes so you can just hit a switch and turn it to rear-wheel drive and like do burnouts and shit. And they'll like warm their tires up before they're about to like, do a quarter mile or something.
That's cool.
And actually, it's only the R32s that can do that. They kind of like wired it out of the future systems on the R33 and the R34. And the R34 is what most people want, but that's a collector's item, man. Those things are like $100 grand. Like, fuck that. I mean, it's a cool car, but it's not that.
You know
cool.
Flo, you're talking about like getting a classic car. Look up a Datsun 1600 Triple S. So actually, I'm posted in general. I saw one of those in town. I didn't know that they were importable yet. I guess I was off of my years. Right-hand drive, cute little fucking car. A little 4-cylinder, I think. 9-10 grand.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, I mean there's an importer in Atlanta that's all he fucking does is the
It'd be pretty
12
cool.
to 20,000 range.
It'd be pretty cool to buy a Toyota Crown. That's their freaking like Maybach equivalent. Like these things are fucking
Yes.
nice.
All right.
And then there's also Nissan made one too, and they're like famed for having Yakuzas buy them and shit like that. But these things are out there and they're not that expensive anymore. And they're actually,
It was a president. It was a
quality-made
president's
vehicle.
car. So,
the
yeah, because
Emperor's
it wasn't
car.
Toyota. Yeah, it was Crown. Crown's this whole different fucking company.
They
Like I love
actually
the
make-
history of the Crown.
They actually make a Crown Athletic. It has a 1JZ in it. It has the 2.
Oh,
It has
very
like
cool.
the baby supermotor in it. And I was like, oh shit. I bet you can freaking crank that thing up to like 550 horsepower pretty damn easy.
And it probably feels like you're driving a couch.
Yeah, it's all like wool
Super
inside.
comfortable.
Yeah, and like it has like massaging seats and shit. And you can actually like fold down like one of the seats so that you can like fully recline in this thing and almost completely lie down with your legs straight out.
It's so baller.
Oh yeah, fucking bitch. Lace
Well, and they
curtains,
look
baby.
cool too. Yeah, they look like
Yeah.
Asian Rolls Royces, really.
Yeah,
What's what they were? Yeah, they were estate cars.
man, I'm waiting to get my GTR back right now. I'm doing the entire fuel system. So I'm taking a stock motor, stock turbos, and converting it over to ethanol with a standalone fuel system and an R35 ignition system. And so, actually, this is kind of like a custom job. To my knowledge, no one's done these exact mods before.
Are you? You should do like a. Are you like taking pictures along the way and stuff?
Nah,
I guess like if. Do you think this would be something popular enough that other people would want to do it, or are you just like doing?
I'm sure other people want to do it, but I'm a fairly private individual. I don't mind talking about it with people that I know and shit like that, but really,
Oh,
I don't just try to
you
like
might.
blast out there.
That's gonna be
Okay.
a pretty unique car too.
Let me segue into talking about prison.
Okay, good, because I was about to start talking about that.
Okay, think about it like this. I got locked up in 2010. And cell phones were around, but the mass proliferation of social media, it was kind of there, but it really hadn't hit yet. And then I get out of prison in 2015, and I look around, and everybody is just buried in their phone. And I just came from a world where you couldn't even have a phone.
That must have been wild. Because I noticed
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
like,
yeah,
every
that
single
would be
person
weird.
in my vicinity is literally looking at their phone.
So I actually purposely have a shitty phone just so that I don't fuck with it. Because like I got a really nice computer. I do a lot of shit on my computer, but I don't do anything on my phone. Actually, I try to be in the moment as best I can. And I don't really do anything on social media because I actually know people, I got better shit to do, in my humble opinion.
Oh, I just do mine, like, I have my various social medias for this show, but it's really hard to try and keep up with them and repost shit that's popular and pay attention to news and stuff like that. I just can't. Like, I'm not in that habit, and I don't want to particularly be plugged in all the time, but I really just don't have the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm too busy playing video games, man. What can I say? So,
True gamer. Gamers rise up.
yeah. Hey, I made a 20-sided die in the furniture factory when I was locked up in prison.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like I still
How
got
big
my
was it?
stack of 3.5 edition Dungeons and Dragons books. And they all got like the fucking TDCJ stamp on the inside cover. My thug Dungeons and Dragons books.
That's fucking hilarious. Get a bunch of people.
Dude, these things were heavy. And I had to carry these things through fucking shakedowns that they do once a year. Fuck, dude. Like, that's when I'd be like, man, I might have too many books. Son of a bitch.
Gotta fucking take them all around. So, I guess, can we start off, how did you end up getting caught? I know you mentioned you ended up having to block a little bit, but,
Well, straight up,
obvious?
I got in a gunfight I wasn't anticipating. Somebody fucking shot at me, so I shot back. And at this point, people are fucking calling the law almost immediately. And I was kind of pissed. And this dude that had shot at me, I came back and shot up his car. And
yeah.
so, because I'd given enough time, by the time I got back to my apartment to get back in there, cops were already coming in. And I knew it then, I was caught. I'd been around too long. I would have had to really at that point I already knew that I had shot a guy on camera, and that it was only that I knew for a fact that a warrant was out for my arrest. You can't run forever. So I knew eventually I would be finished.
Did you? Oh shit! I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, were you sober during this time, or were you?
I was pretty damn manic. Because all right, when this dude had tried to carjack me, man, I just quit sleeping, basically. And at most I might get an hour or two of sleep.
Yeah, that'll do
And
it.
so, yeah, dude, I always was kind of an insomniac, but it just so happens when a motherfucker tries to charge you up with a meat cleaver, that can actually fuck with your sleeping habits a little bit.
Yeah, not the best
So-
implement to be.
Yeah, so I
Ran out
slept
with.
so little. Nah, man, I was fucking out of my damn mind when I got locked up. Actually, it took me a while of being in jail to fucking calm the fuck down and really get my head back on straight.
Yeah, I mean, because shooting up a car seems like something, a conclusion I could come to, but only if I was already mad and then there was something else on top that was like amplifying that.
Well, there's also a part of me that's like, well, I already shot someone. Fuck it, I'm shooting up this car too. Actually, they kind of charged me for that, but they dropped it. So really, all the stuff that has happened with like, what got me locked up, all that's settled. Like, I'm on parole right now, but we hashed all this stuff out at court. And but this guy, that was funny is that the state wasn't really able to prove that I shot up the car. At least that's my understanding of how it ended up playing out. They had a weak enough case that they didn't feel like pursuing it because there was a bunch of other shit on the table too. So they're trying to figure out how they want to do it. And I've been I was sitting in jail for like 9 months before I finally got my case concluded.
And do you remember what they charged you with the vehicle? Was it just like property damage, or did they have some
it was kind of like tied into the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon with a bodily injury. It was basically tied to that.
Okay.
They're more concerned about that than any type of property damage. But that
makes
case
sense.
ended up getting dropped because there's conflicting reports about what happened. Because some people say that this guy shot first, and some people say that I shot first. But they really can't come to a conclusion on what happened. And so the state couldn't prove anything. They couldn't. It was hard enough that they were like, "Fuck it, we're just concerned about the guy he actually shot." That's basically how it played out. They convicted me of aggravated assault with a bodily injury. Yeah, that's what I ended up actually getting charged with.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That even with eyewitness, evidence, the fact that they're both, people, all kinds of people are saying different things, it kind of nullifies a lot of it.
Also, what threw him off is this dude had shot at me. I ran back to my apartment. I actually changed shirts before I grabbed my gun and came back out, and that actually threw a lot of shit off.
So they have these shirts you can buy. I can't remember what they call them, but this is really popular in like South America. So on one side of the shirt, it is really bright, like tropical pattern, and then on the other side of the shirt, on the inside, I don't know if it's the whole inside. It might be just a little bit, but it's camouflage. And so the idea is if you have to if you have to shoot somebody, you can shoot them and then take your shirt off and flip it inside out, and you can stash the gun somewhere, and it won't be immediately obvious, And then also it changes your appearance.
Well, there's a bunch of reasons you might need to change your appearance. I actually had a lot of fun reading like spy novels and shit like that when I was locked up.
Hell yeah!
And some
Have you ever heard of
interesting to read about.
David Baldacci?
I have not.
He's a really, really great author, and he's got a bunch of different series, but one of them is called The Great. Oh wait. No, I think The Gray Man is also very good, and it's kind of like a spy assassin thing, but I think that's Mark Greaney. But David Baldacci, the first one I started with, it was about a hitman, and his name was... Fuck, I can't even remember. I've gotten mixed up with all the authors and stuff, but the first book in that series is called The Hit. Very good. I'd recommend it if you're into novels like that.
Ah. So did y'all want to talk about guns, man?
Yeah, one sec real quick. Let me see.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
I had a question. They or two things about prison. One of them was in the episode that Flo sent me with the
Rich Dickman.
What's the name? Rich Dickman show.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Bible bully that smashed someone's head on a toilet, and I
Yeah.
guess you talked about it on another episode. Would you be interested in telling the short of that story, or if not, I can find the story somewhere else?
No, yeah, I got you. All right, so here's the short and skinny of it. You got this Bible bully dude playing Scrabble with this fucking ginger kid, basically. Like, really, the ginger guy was in there because he was a roaring alcoholic. Black guy was in there because he was a fucking crackhead that found Jeebus while he was in prison. But he's a real obnoxious fucking prick about it, and actually will fucking bully people if they're doing shit that he doesn't find very moral. In fact, he'll actually like yell at people for watching Jerry Springer and shit. Fucking weird. Bible bully. Anyways, he's gambling. They're all fucking gambling on Scrabble. And the Bible bully guy actually is indigent. He doesn't have any money, but he like washes people's clothes and shit like that to get like little bits here and there. And the ginger guy was like, "I don't think you have it, so I want it right now." And he's like, "Oh, you never in your life gonna want to disrespect me." And he gets into in the bathroom where they don't have any cameras pointing at the shit and calls him out. And so this dude goes back there, they get in a fight, and this fucking ginger kid gets his ass whooped. It's punched in the side of the head and his feet taken out from under him, smacks his head on the side of a toilet, and it splits the cartilage in his ear, like all the way down to his head, man. And
if you ain't about Jesus, I'm going to shoot you in the face. If you don't praise God, I'm going to hit you with this K.
So Ginger Kid leaves the bathroom after he's got his ass beat pretty damn bad. And so he comes and hangs out with the fucking white guys that I'm kind of sitting with. And he's like, "I don't know, man. I think I'm just going to tell them that I fell in the shower." Like, you're going to tell them that you fell in the shower and hit a dozen fists on the way down? Like, there's no way that they're not going to look at you and go, "Oh, man, he got his ass beat." It's very apparent, man. You're just going to have to figure out what the fuck you're going to do. Get your shit together, man, because they're about to fucking snatch your ass up.
Just plead the fifth, man.
Actually, as a pod, we held together for a long time. In fact, I'm fairly confident we held all the way out. There is a camera in there. They might have reviewed the footage good, and, like, to the point where they're finally like, "Fuck it, we know who fucking beat his ass."
Oh yeah, like he came in here looking normal and left looking like he just got hit by a
They
fucking
pulled
train.
everybody out one by one, asking who, like, what happened, and everybody said, "I don't know." In fact, it took them like 5 hours that we were racked up until they finally came and got this guy. So it's nice when people actually take no snitching seriously. Me, myself, I worked on a very strict no snitching policy, and
That's rule number 1, baby. Even if it's...
no, not as much as you'd think, man.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
now, if you are
it
a
should
snitch,
be
people,
rule
you
number
are
1.
radioactive. People will not fuck with you. But then again, there's always people that are trying to talk to the law, man. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people.
So I've got a question for, like, before prison. Who was the most disturbing person you came across in your slinging days? Yeah.
So I don't want to use even any fucking aliases and shit.
Oh yeah,
like that
please be
about
very
people like
vague.
this. So I'm just
Call
gonna
him Joe
say
Schmo. That's my
that
name.
this dude was the brother of a guy that owned the keys to a plaza. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, like that was
Yeah.
he had an area of territory.
Don't
yeah,
spell it
basically.
out.
So well, this
Don't
is
spell it out.
like old cartel times and shit like that. This is when like Los Zetas were fucking
Zetas,
taking
I
off
was
and
just
shit
about
like
to say that would be around the time.
I
You know, the early
like
2000s.
there's just a
Well,
lot of
late.
things where I didn't ask a lot of questions. I would just ask if they had what I wanted, and all we had to do was leave it at that. But this one dude was able to get a lot of fucking, like, he was able to get almost anything over the border, and a lot of it. And his brother was fucking insane. And this is a guy that you didn't want to get on the bad side of, because he would go get that money from people, and he would just like take all their shit in front of them. And
He
shit
wasn't
like that
afraid
if
to
they
do
weren't
it
able to
himself.
pay up. Yeah, like this dude, he didn't give a fuck. And on top of that, he's a real sadistic motherfucker. He fucking disturbed me one time because he always wanted to go into fucking strip clubs with me and shit like that. I don't know what's with this dude and going out to strip clubs. And usually he was fucking wild and shit like that. But I don't know. Usually he'd act like relatively calm when I was around anyway. We'd usually talk a lot about guns and shit like that because, he'd be interested in my take on shit. Because, I mean, I was a nerd and I would, I looked up a lot of shit about guns. I have the better part of an engineering degree, and my passion for like firearms was one of the reasons I got into engineering. I knew a lot about it. And I was out with this dude. We were going to a strip club. We pull over in downtown Houston. There's a bunch of fucking hobos on the side of the road. And he fucking reaches in his center console and fucking grabs a whole fucking pocket full of change, like almost out, like a whole fistful of change. And he has a fucking Sacagawea gold dollar and a blowtorch, man. So he fucking hits this gold dollar with a
Oh
blowtorch,
my fucking
tosses
god.
that out the window, and then throws all those fucking quarters out the window and watches all these hobos fucking scramble for shit. And then he fucking rolls through the stop sign, and he just, man, this dude starts screaming. He's like, "Oh, we got a winner!"
See, that is the kind of answer I wanted. That is something I could never
Yeah.
make up. I could never make some shit up like that, and the only way I would hear about it is if I saw it or like someone that knew could tell me. So, bravo. That's a
Man.
fucked up dude.
Yeah, and really, there was something, man. Sometimes I had to tolerate this guy, but what was fucked up is I ended up becoming kind of like his quasi therapist.
Oh, I bet
talked this
that was
dude
a
off
roller
ledge
coaster
a bunch
ride.
of times. God, and really,
What
like,
I think
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
people don't understand about the criminal lifestyle is that you there are a lot of benefits, but one of the biggest things is you're gonna pay with your sanity to some degree. The paranoia and the fucking the
Actually,
moral quandaries.
it depends on how you run your ship, man. But I mean, I don't know. I had a lot of really chill times when it came to that when it came to that type of stuff. But I was just one of those guys that didn't really play any bullshit because I was more about the hustle than anything else. And a lot of people would get in their feelings, and a lot of people had this whole thing about respect, man, and that actually caused a lot of problems. I hear it all the time. People will say something along the lines of like, "It's the principle of the matter," but
Yeah,
really, what that translates to is I'm about to do something really fucking stupid.
I got my feelings hurt. Like, I
And
know that
man,
sounds
is a word.
so chintzy, but if somebody really hurts your feelings, and you know you're on that fuck everything kind of attitude, and you have the means to cause a lot of destruction, it's not so far fetched. It's like that guy that was the football player Aaron Hernandez. Well, he was a good kid, like a suburban kid, all up until after he started getting concussions and then hanging around gangsters. So he had the fuck everything attitude from the CTE, and then the means to do something, and he ended up killing somebody. It's just a series of decisions you make along the way, and then you can end up
yeah, I always
doing
painted
something you
myself
can't
as
take
more of a
back.
hustler than anything else. Like I was about making some money. It was fun doing that kind of stuff.
So along those lines, I've got a couple questions. What was like the most amount of money you made at once?
Well,
In like a
let me
one
think.
deal, I guess.
Are you talking? I can tell you the quickest I ever made money. I had one deal go through that happened pretty damn quick, and I walked away with like 5 grand. I made
Damn,
five
just
grand
like
in
in an
15 minutes one
afternoon.
time.
Oh my god.
Well, I had these people coming in from out of state, and I was just kind of sitting on what they wanted, and they were willing to pay out of state prices.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, come on with it. And really, I had some other, and I had middleman some shit, and really what I did was I got $1,500 and a poundage row, which I turned around and sold wholesale for $3,500, and like I already had that lined up. Like as soon as these people left, I already had it gone, and I had 5 grand.
It's so funny how the price of a pound, it was that expensive back then, and then it seemed like there was a period where it dipped, and now it's back up to being that expensive, like depending on which way you're gonna go. If you're looking for that like 7 out of 10 flour, like nothing insane, but definitely not bad.
It'll become a commodity eventually, where there's so much weed, it's just fucking cheap. And it's going to really be a lot. Probably it's going to end up being like regulatory shit and taxes that make it expensive. Just kind of the same thing like cigarettes, or like, cigarettes are fucking expensive, but most of it's taxes.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
that's why I think decriminalization sometimes is more
Oh, man.
beneficial than legalization, but not
When I
necessarily
made all that,
financially.
now when I made all that money, I was actually using someone else's money to buy that shit. So I had like 40 grand and like 2 cargo pockets. I was wearing some fucking cargo shorts that I went and did this deal in another car.
With the fucking buttons.
Yeah, I had a button-up shirt that like, so what I do is I have like a button-up shirt that has like, like a Spider-Man print on it or something like that. I had a couple of
Oh my
shirts. I had some
God.
Punisher ones, Spider-Man ones, but really the middle buttons are open, and I'm wearing a necklace that's a knife. So really I can just reach inside my shirt and I got a knife. Like I can pull a knife fucking fast. when
Oh,
I'm
so
wearing it
like
that.
what did you wear and drive during those days?
I drove a Honda Accord.
Nice.
And I usually wore jean shorts or some jeans and flip flops everywhere, and like a T-shirt or like a button-up shirt that had like some kind of cool print on it.
Yep. See, not balling out of control, not calling a
Well,
lot of attention to yourself. You know.
I wasn't trying to be all flashy with shit. Now I was flashy in other ways. Like I always had a really nice lighter, and I didn't like keep my cigarettes in a box. I kept them in a case.
Yeah.
And I was a real fucking lighter snob, actually. Like, if someone was going to be a weed snob, I would become a lighter snob just to fucking one up their snobbery. It was a real fucking.
Yeah, double down on that.
Well, so I worked at a place that was really close to the courthouse, and I knew a bunch of lawyers and shit like that. And these people could be fucking insufferable douchebags sometimes, but they were cool to hang out with.
Yeah, true. You know,
I was kind of a
professionals.
Kemosabe, man. I fucking hung out with fucking all sorts of people.
That's what I
And
feel
it really
like.
was a big smattering. Like,
Really
of
hard to
all over
like
the place.
not. It's really hard to not talk about people that have issues with other people, because you're like, you got to remember. Oh yeah, he doesn't fuck with him, and he doesn't fuck with her, and this and that. And I know that these two are cheating on each other with these two, and it's like, don't fucking, you get wasted. You'll start
Yeah.
dropping dimes accidentally.
Well, man, sometimes there's like that happened during my hustling career. Some motherfuckers that have some baby mama drama.
Mm-hmm. They always bring it around. I'll be
Oh,
sure to
man,
let
yeah,
you
that's
know.
rough. We had a rule: no chicks at the trap house.
Smart.
And there's only like a handful of exceptions. And these
Well,
are,
those
these
are the
chicks
ones that
actually
are gonna-
proven to be cool.
Yeah.
Like they can actually hold their shit together.
Those are the ones.
And there's like 4 of them in our whole fucking group, and it was not small.
I mean, if some bitch comes over, right, and they see all of the stuff, it's just like a ticking time bomb. If you don't know she's down, like you were saying.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
kind
Yeah,
of hard.
one bad breakup and one vindictive bitch.
Yeah.
send everyone away.
Exactly.
Yeah, people are always wary about some shit like that. And on top of that, there's just too many like real life, there's too many real life accounts of hardcore gangster people that got brought down by their woman.
Yeah.
Like, are you familiar with Whitey Bulger?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Man, fucking government gave him a whole bunch of acid, and he was a fucking crazy mobster that like rigged the lottery a bunch of times, shot a fuckload of people. He went on the run, and they couldn't find him for the longest time. But you know what? Serial number on his girlfriend's fake tits got him caught up.
Oh, I did. That's where I remember that from. Yeah.
Dude, he was gone for a while.
Oh,
He
for
was
a
on the
long
run
time.
for so long.
So I have one more
Like my
question.
dad
Oh,
told
yeah.
me about him.
I saw Black Mass. I didn't know anything about the guy until I saw the movie, and then I looked up the Wikipedia page, and I'm like, oh, whoa, what the fuck? This dude's fucking crazy.
Like, have you seen
Like
the guy?
The
that-
Departed is roughly based on
Oh,
Whitey
hell
Bulger
yeah.
and some of his shit.
Like the guy that they made the movie Catch Me If You Can. That was a real dude.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool ones like that, and a bunch of them had chicks that would bring down the whole operation. So we were just wary about chicks. And you know what? It ended up being a good move. Like me going to prison and getting in trouble with the law, it never had anything to do with my hustling, because I took it seriously, and I tried to be a fucking professional. It was actually very hard to wrangle people working on dealer time to actually be on some kind of schedule.
Yeah, I can imagine the logistics of that are pretty complicated.
God,
Can
it can
you
get fucking annoying. We had a cool place to chill though.
Can
so
you
that goes a
remember?
long way.
Can you remember a deal that was too good to be true and was probably a setup that you walked away from?
Yeah, there's what really, I would never let it get to the point where there's a deal on the table that I felt was a setup. Really, it was the person you're dealing with, not a deal.
Oh, true.
And so actually, like I used to hustle LSD, and I was actually very selective about people that I'd fuck with. Basically, if you've never sat down and dropped acid with me, I wouldn't sell.
That is so smart, dude, because all it takes is somebody to do it that doesn't know what the fuck they're getting into, and then they're calling 911, and they're in this compromised state, and they're telling people, I don't know what I took, but this is where I got it from. Like, that's happened, not to me, but people I know, when it comes to, psychedelics.
Now,
like
do you
that.
think that is more susceptible with hallucinogens?
Oh,
than,
100%.
We'll say coke.
Yeah, people are liable
100%.
to fly off the fucking handle. man.
No, they'll
Now,
just start
allegedly-
repeating hospital, 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 like over and over again.
Well, I can definitely say this. I threatened a lot of people back then. They were taking acid whenever they were starting to trip out a little bit. I'm like, look, man, you need to remember that you're in a fucking trap house and you need to calm the fuck down. Otherwise, we're about to duct tape you to a toilet.
Damn, Skippy. Yeah, that's an already. It's not necessarily a tense situation, but it's a serious situation. And anytime
Yeah, well,
somebody's
because
like,
we got like enough drugs where this is like a serious fucking charge. Actually, like it was actually a worse charge than me shooting somebody having that amount of drugs
yeah, no,
on
they'll,
top of all the guns.
especially back
And
then.
yeah, well, it's enough to the point where it'd be distribution charges and shit like that. And it also depends on, well, also, but that's about as bad as it would be. We're actually incredibly wary about how we communicated with people and shit like that.
Well, nowadays you've got assholes on Snapchat while they're sitting there and doing all this shit, blowing up blowing up their spot, dry snitching on themselves
Yeah, that shit
constantly.
blows my mind.
Yeah, dude.
Like we didn't even say anything on the phone. All we would be like, hey, you good for me to come over? Yeah, yeah, and that's all there
That's
was.
it.
That's
On
all
the
you'd ever
phone,
hear.
not through text. Yeah, I should
Not
already
even,
know
not
what
through
you
text,
need.
not even on the phone. Yeah, you do everything face to face.
Yeah, that would be ideal. It's not always easy if you don't
And
have
on
a
top of
spot
that, it
like
makes
you
it so
you
there's
had.
less chance for a miscommunication and shit like that. But usually we had pretty decent deals, and there was kind of like an understanding. Like it wouldn't always be that. Sometimes it'd be like, "Hey, you good?" Be like, "Yeah, come on with it," and then we just know
Mhm.
that someone's on the way because we knew that we had we already kind of had a deal scheduled.
Yeah, well, and they know what you have. You know what they
Yeah, yeah.
probably want.
And there's
So
kind of like a flow to shit, and things just kind of stay moving.
You just gotta enter the flow state. Is that what you're saying? Haha, get that cash
Something like
flow going. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I think one of the things that made all those fucking hustlers and gangsters and shit like that like me so much was I had a really cool firearm collection, man. And I
I
would
know.
go off if people wanted to
Yeah,
talk about
yep.
guns.
We're ready to talk about guns. Those are all of my other questions. So
real quick, I got one more related. When you were in prison, how many self-hating racists were there?
What side?
Well, either. I was listening to the show, and you mentioned that there were some, but then I was like, it got me wondering, like, Nuka Zeus. I know you don't really do social media a lot. Nuka Zeus is this white guy that injects himself to look black with some chemical.
yeah, like some
Damn.
some tanner.
Hates fucking white people. So I was like, that kind of got me thinking. I was like, how many guys ran? Okay, how many guys were with the blacks
There are some
that were
characters,
not
man.
black?
Okay, there are a couple people that are Crips, and they're gonna ride with the Crips.
Oh
And
my
they were
God.
white.
I saw
They're
this
out there.
real quick. I saw this video. It's a guy named John Moss, and he's black, and he walks up to his friends, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is white boy," and they point to the white guy, and he's like, "Why you call him that?" Exactly
Now,
like that.
I did know a guy that was half black, half Korean, and he loved Hitler.
Damn, that's
There's-
a exotic fucking
On
combo.
There's some weird
an
people. man.
ideological level. I mean, because are we talking he liked murder and genocide and blah blah blah, or was he like, no, I actually agree with how he tried to save Germany in his own eyes? Or
Okay,
was it
so
just
his
like,
rationale is that Koreans were part of whatever the fuck the justification was to say the Japanese were also Aryans.
Yeah.
And so he was like, well,
Yeah,
Hitler
man.
was half Jewish, and I'm half black, but that's okay. I got the pure blood in me, and he's just fucking going off. And this dude would totally ride with the Nazis. This fucking black Korean guy.
That's wild as fuck.
If shit really popped off, like if a race riot broke out or something like that, like I never saw that happen while I was down. There was a tense situation where it got kind of close. And that's because, man, fucking American History X came on.
Yeah, dude, when I
And then
was
that shower rape scene happened, and some dude in the back was like, "Yeah, that's what happens." And this like old school fucking Nazi guy was like, "Who the fuck said that?"
Oh yeah.
Oh, and I was like, "Oh fuck, here we go."
This is gonna be an issue. Yeah, when it was funny when I was like 13, I think I was rolling with the racist crowd in middle school, and you know what really got me? It's funny because I would hang out with them, and I started to like share some of that ideology, and it was really ignorant, as racism tends to be. But what got me is like they weren't actually racist. Like they had black friends and this and that, and then so it was at that very age I realized this is only as people that live like this, it's only as firm as it tends to be convenient for them. Like there's I think there's very few quote unquote racists that have those beliefs and then follow through.
Stance anymore.
Yeah, anymore for sure. Like you were talking about some big Aryan, I think you said he was a Wood or something, playing checkers with a black dude.
Yeah, well,
like that immediately I was like, what the fuck? Why would he even be in there?
Well,
situation
so if you're a Wood, you're just like doing generic ne'er-do-well white boy shit. It's not even really a gang. It's just some people that'll cut for one another.
Like dirty white boys. Have you heard of that?
Kind of. I mean, basically, they're like, hey, we're all fucking doing, we're all doing dirt, right? They're like, fuck yeah, brother. We're going to steal everything out of this kitchen commissary.
We're going to get away scot-free.
Yeah.
Blame it on the black man.
But there were prison gangs that are more serious about shit. And really, everybody's trying to hide their affiliation, because if you're in general population and you get confirmed to be in a prison gang, you get thrown to a higher security threat. And they even have a guy on every unit. That's his job, is to try to figure out who's a security threat. It's the STG.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I think that solitary confinement is cruel and unusual punishment. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. So I experienced it firsthand, and you know what? I was in solitary for like maybe 3 weeks.
Oh, that's that's.
I could feel 3 weeks. I felt fucking weird.
Jesus.
By the end of it, man.
And there are people that spend years doing that shit. Their entire sentence.
I could feel myself like disassociating. It was weird. And on top of that, the longer I just kind of sat in there and didn't move around or do anything, I could actually feel myself like forgetting the order of streets and shit like that in like my old hometown. It's fucking weird. I got notes of it. Notes of it in my journal.
Oh, dude, I'd love to, like, if you want to share some of those sometime. Not right now, but
I have to reread them, man. I got 2 3-ring binders. I mean, I wrote a page every day, man, and I was locked up for 5 years.
Well, yeah, so give it a little skim. But I've thought about doing it, and then doing it like a charity thing, and live streaming like the mental degradation. I just don't really have the time. I'd want to do it for like 4 or 5 days straight or something, Did you have a window?
No.
Yeah, even that is a patsy amount,
just the front of the cell was open and barred. That's it.
But so no natural, like even that too. I mean, just a window. I feel like would offer you some kind of solace that you can see some movement or something. But yeah,
they let you out of your cell once a day for a shower.
Oh yeah, I know a guy that was in there for 2 months, and they only let him out every 3rd day, and it was 24 hours for 3-day stints. And he told me I've been irreparably damaged from that having happened.
I did see something funny as fuck happen in solitary, man. So there's this fat motherfucker that worked there, and this dude, he was like if Hoggish Greeley was a white boy. Like, this dude was fat as fuck. And they must have a bitchin' fucking country gas station out there, because they'll sell you a sandwich that's like as long as a foot-long Subway sandwich, but like twice as thick. It's so big they had to give it to you on a thick-ass piece of cardboard and saran wrap it up.
Damn.
And this fat fuck would show up with a 2-liter of Coke and one of these things, and he would smash that shit by the time he was gone.
Straight mix.
Yeah, and so one of the guys asked to get let out of the shower as soon as they let him out, and he's handcuffed and everything, but he's got his hands in front of him. He just suddenly goes, woo, takes off on the dude, fucking grabs the sandwich, takes a bite out of his sandwich, grabs the 2-liter, and does that thing where he puts his thumb on the fucking cap. Boof! I mean, he pops this cap off.
Like a fucking bottle of champagne, baby.
Yeah, fucking running away from this fat fucker. And this dude, there's no way he was going to get caught. He had to fucking bang on the door and get 2 more guys to come in so they could corner this guy.
Yeah, literally, it's like they got to wrangle him. I can't
like
remember
fucking
how we
Benny
got
Hill starts playing in my mind.
back on the prison thing, but
Oh, we were going to talk about guns and shit.
yeah.
Guns, yeah, guns.
So did you have like any structural modifications that you would do to your spot? Like I know one guy he had a door and then he had a cage built around the door. It was pretty rudimentary. Like you probably could have smashed through it if you wanted to, but like it was like a bank. You know how you go in and then you're in the one thing and then they let in the other.
So I didn't change the structure of the place, although the only thing I did was I had a big curtain that was used as a separator to kind of make another room. There was like a large main room that was like a kitchenette / living room, and it's kind of separated a kitchen from the living room, and it was basically an indoor theater that we had, and that's where we just hung out all the time in the indoor theater. And but if there was a big deal going on out there, sometimes there were times where they didn't want to see a white face. And see, we had a bunch of wires all over the place from like cameras and speakers and shit like that because we had a bitchin' sound system in here too, and we had colored duct tape that were holding the wires down. But really, we lined these things up so that they lined up with an area in the back room that I could stand, and I had a camera that I could see into that room from standing in the back room. So I was able to stand in one spot, and I could tell if I shot through the wall if I was going to hit somebody by looking looking at the camera. That was
fucking genius, dude.
And we just never told anybody about it. No one ever knew.
Yeah.
Just like that's such an elegant and simple and yet effective idea. If worst case scenario shit were to pop off, what would be your weapon of choice to use in that scenario?
Usually I'm just sitting on the bed with my scar on my lap.
Scar.
Whenever I have my yeah, that was an impulse buy. That was the only gun I ever impulse buy too. But I came across a big grip of money, and it was like $1,700 at Gander Mount, and I was like, "Fuck it, I want a 308. I like nice things. Give me my 308."
Yeah,
but I also had a Saiga, and so
the
really
12
what I
gauge.
usually did, yeah. So what I did was I would sit on the bed and have my scar on my lap, and I'd be sitting there looking at the camera, and I mean, the walls are thin. I can hear what they're saying basically most of the time. And so if anything goes back, it pops off, I jump up and hop in that spot and start shooting through walls and trying to hit people. And fail that, I got the Saiga just sitting up over there in a corner. If I got to actually like open that door and go go chase some people out or something like that. But it never got to that because the way I looked at it, I stay prepared so I don't have to get prepared.
Yeah, smart.
And it's funny. There's actually a lot of people that were kind of like, how do you say it, unconsciously racist, because there's a lot of people that are like black or Mexican that think that some white people are liable to just fucking fly off the fucking handle. They're like, oh, that fucking crazy white boy, and that's an archetype I kind of leaned into.
Yeah, no, that's because there is I think everybody has a little bit of unconscious bias or racism. I mean, just in the fact that you're not as easily recognizable. Like they can't process your facial features as well as they can whatever their race is.
Yeah, like it's measurable. Yeah, I mean, you get used to your own culture and shit like that. But a lot of these people had a lot of guns and shit like that. So, and that was the topic I was able to talk about forever, man. I talk about all sorts of shit about guns, and I'd like to show them off too. I let them see my 460 Magnum and shit like that. I had a Judge. I had a couple of those 2-shot 410 shotguns. I had a 1911. That thing was just handy. And then I had the Saiga was the winner, man. Everybody loved the Saiga.
Oh, it looks so badass. It's fucking loud.
I bought this thing before they're even really talking about putting it on the destructive device list. And I bought this thing. Actually, I bought this thing in late 07? Maybe
that's pre-Russia ban.
Yeah, and I bought this thing for like $660. And
oh my god, what are those now? Like $2K?
Oh, they're expensive. As soon as Obama went into office, they were over 1,000. And so I felt like a real smug asshole. And yeah, the fucking chunk of that fucking of rack in that thing is fucking sick sounding.
Yeah, and then it's loud when it. when it shoots too, did you have anything on the end of the barrel, like
No.
breaching
all I did was
devices
put
or
a,
anything?
I put a low compression chamber in the thing so I could shoot birdshot out of it.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun. Actually, there's just a shitload of fucking old birdshot lying around. It might not always cycle and shit like that, but we go out in the country and fuck shit up.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decent number of people that have where people just have property like out in the middle of fucking nowhere and shit like that. And sometimes it'd be like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything today. Let's go fucking hang out in the country.
Yeah.
Fucking eat some shrooms, just smoke some weed and shoot some guns.
Yeah, that actually sounds so fucking nice. Oh my goodness.
Fuck yeah, brother. Those are some good times.
Okay, so we talked about that. Do you have any other self-defense setups, like you were talking about the tape and everything like that?
That was not. I wouldn't do that for a self-defense situation. Like, really, if I was really worried about it, man, I would just like reinforce my door and shit like that. If you can just make it so it's hard for a motherfucker to break in, that goes a long way. And really, if someone's trying to break, if it actually takes someone effort to break in, it gets to the point where you can just like hit someone with a machete or something like that. Or even like a decent sized kitchen knife, you can freaking fend someone off if you actually just have your physical place fortified to a certain extent. Now, if you gotta actually defend yourself, I mean, it depends on the application, man. Like, I mean, you might not want to penetrate too much, and you need something a little smaller. Like a 380 will get the job done if you really have to.
And is that why you use the birdshot for the shotgun, to not like go through drywall or something?
No, mainly it's because it was around. Actually, in my defense setup, if I was grabbing the Saiga, shit's going down. And so I got it set up triple aught buck, and then I got those ballistic tip hollow point hog hunting slugs. I got it staggered between that.
That sounds nice.
And,
like a Sabo fire breath bullshit. Like that.
It's a full slug. It's like an ultra high brass.
Yup.
And the Saiga would run them.
Yeah, better to cycle with. If you're worried about that with a semi-automatic.
No, it fucking feels kind of wicked. And it's a little rough, but whatever. And then I also had the Scar sitting
I've
around.
had pistol grips with some of those in Magnums, and they fucking hurt. I'll fucking say, dude, they fucking hurt. We start fucking running those.
I had a full stock on mine, but I mean, actually, most of the time, the gun I had the most was my 2-shot Bond arms, man. And I had it set up so that the first.
Why am I not surprised that Bond Arms is associated with that former job of yours? You know what I mean?
It's
Bonds, charters.
Hey, look, it's
fucking
a useful
Bursa.
tool. They just happen to make a superior product. I needed something
Fuck
small
you.
and concealable.
I'll stand by Bursa.
It's small and
I'll
concealable.
stand by
You can
Bursa
actually
all
fit
day.
it, like you can just fit it behind the buckle of your belt, and it really doesn't look that out of place. And if you have a somewhat baggy T-shirt, no one can even tell you got the thing. And I looked at it as it was an ethical thing for me, because I wasn't about to try fucking shoot somebody over some fucking drug money. And so the way I had it set up was my first shot would shoot bird shot. And that's to let someone know that I will fucking shoot them if they really want to fucking push some shit. Because I might be put in a self-defense situation.
And was that
and
like the 410, or did you have like a little round that had
that was a 410.
Okay.
And then my next shot would be either like a 410 slug or maybe some triple aught or just a 45 long cold. The next one would put somebody down. But, my first shot is to actually let someone know I'm fucking serious, because you never know where something might go. And you're dealing with people that are fucking doing drugs and shit that like on a very regular basis. Sometimes people can fucking be thinking a little bit too damn fast, feeling themselves a little too much, get a little too amped up, and they're liable to do some dumb shit. I've seen someone actually like get to the point where they're about to shoot somebody over a matter of $2,000,
Yeah.
So you never know when this shit could pop off. But
did you ever shoot 45 long cold out of that?
Yeah. I mean, it has a decent amount of kick, man. I also had a 460 Magnum, and it was fun shooting 45 long colt out of that thing. It actually was like a real comfortable, like little push coming out of something that heavy.
Yeah, nice heavy barrel with good grips. I love long.
I was just curious about the Bond
it
arm.
weighed like 4 pounds 8 ounces, man. It was a hefty piece of stainless steel.
Oh,
Bond arms also, you can get a barrel that shoots a 357 maximum. That's fucking stupid. Are you familiar with that round?
Maximum?
357
Yeah,
max.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fingernail longer with a
Why?
double A battery. You gotta just go big or
why?
go home, baby.
That's like
It
50
almost
GI.
looks like an old like rifle
For when you gotta
cartridge.
burn somebody on top of shooting them. For starting campfires.
Yeah, it's the case is 2 inches long.
That's insane, dude. That is so much. I mean, that's like 4570, where it's just like it has its purpose, but someone's like, no. This is my self-defense round.
Because
And
my
you're like,
EDC.
for what? Were you in
Yeah,
Alaska?
I
Like,
mean,
this isn't like the bear pistol. You know what I mean?
so when I went and had all that money and I did that deal where I got all the cash, I actually had 3 guns on me and a knife. So I had my Bond arms that's like right in the middle, and also like across the thing behind it, I had my 460 Magnum, and then on like my back, I had my my 1911.
Jeez, that's a lot of fucking weight.
Well, it is,
It's
but
like
I had
10 pounds
like,
worth of guns.
well, I'm like strapped down, and on top of that, my cargo shorts are completely full of money, dude. Like that, like it's a lot of cash. And so I got my 460 Magnum in case they try to burn off on me, I might have to try to shoot their car and stop it.
That's a good idea. I don't think a lot of people consider that with a handgun, but it's totally viable.
Well, that's the way I looked at it. If I got a little lucky, they wouldn't be getting very far. And at least at that point, the negotiation table is still open. There's just a lot of stipulations that I think
You
are
haven't
discussed, and
made
pretty
the
fast.
ultimate mistake yet. I helped you out in that regard.
Something
I mean,
like that.
I've
But-
had cash on me to buy like a car or gone with someone to buy like four-wheeler property or something like that. And like we always have a pistol on you and then a rifle in the car at a minimum. Just because I mean like if you have that much cash on you, you're like if something goes wrong and someone finds out where I am before I get to where I need to go, like there's real problems and I can't lose this money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my feelings would be hurt too much, so let's just not go down that road.
Yeah,
That's the way I always looked at it.
right for sure.
And the way I looked at it, if shit just popped off and I'm having to like shoot a bunch of people, then I'm pulling out the 1911 and just start blasting.
Yeah, that's the original. So you only have to shoot once. Caliber.
Well,
You had
I mean,
45,
if you
right?
get a decent shot placement, you're at least gonna knock a motherfucker over.
Yeah, 45 is one of the only ones that I feel like has kinetic energy that is equal to the amount of rounds that you can carry with it, where it makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Big enough to do that, but not so big that you're sacrificing a shit ton of capacity.
And also the way I looked at it, I was going to be sitting right next to people, and so if some dumb shit happened, it was actually really easy for me to also pull out my 2-shot at that point. So if some dumb shit popped off, if I really had to, I could fucking grab somebody and hold them. Like, you never know what might happen. You have to be like in some drug deal, if they're trying to fuck with you and all of a sudden they're trying to hold you hostage, you might have to turn around and fucking hold someone else hostage.
It's a Texan standoff.
Well, you never know. I like to think of all possible scenarios.
What was a scenario that seemed really likely that you thought about and had a really good plan set up for? Like if somebody kicks your door in, what were you gonna do?
Well, we actually had one of those wedges that's like a door kicker. And
Damn, the
really, if
Bibble
someone
method.
kicked the door in, we have cameras all over this bitch. Like nobody's coming up to our front door without us seeing them. Well, before they to even get on our road, we're gonna see you.
Oh, that's good.
By the way, I've had those things for hotels. Those things are brilliant to have, and they're so cheap.
Yeah,
And,
well,
like I
back
really
then,
think everyone should have those. If you
back
live
then
in
I had to run a lot of
apartment, you
wires,
should have
but
one.
it was worth it.
Oh, I think he's talking about the wedge.
Oh,
Yeah, the wedge.
yeah. Those
Those are
that's
brilliant.
smart.
Everyone should have those.
Yeah, you can, if the door closure is on the inside, like if you're in a commercial place and there's a door closure, you can like wrap a belt around that closure so the door can't open. I mean, you got to
We
get that
also had
motherfucker tight, but
We also had a couple of guns stashed around the trap house that people didn't really know about. You have to know where they are, and they're fairly easy to get to. So if someone's kicking down the door, we saw them come up the stairs. And if someone looks like they're about to kick down the door, or if it's someone we don't know, we always had guns around. We'd be like, "Who the fuck is this?" So the thing is, the people also kind of knew that, so they just didn't even try.
Did anything
never
ever
really-
that normally
happen
goes-
to where like people said, "Oh, these motherfuckers are serious," or was it because
No.
you had the? That's such a good idea to have a reputation as the gun guy, because nobody's gonna fuck with the gun guy.
Yeah. And I was also kind of looked at as a crazy white boy because, I hung around with a lot of Mexicans and a lot of black people, and it was fun. It was fun hanging out with shit like that. I'd be the man out of water on a very regular basis.
Yeah, but again, you can the cost of you being alienated to an extent. I don't want to say alienated, but the cost of you overcoming that is worth so much more in the benefits that you get
Yeah.
from it.
And man, when I had my 460 Magnum, that thing was relatively new. There weren't very many of them out there. And so people love showing off their guns, and people be like, "Oh, check this out, check that out." And then you pull this thing out, and it looks like the fucking Joker's gun. And
Oh,
you're like,
and
"All right, guys, fucking
especially
check this
since
shit
it
out."
was a revolver. A revolver plays really well into the crazy white boy scenario.
Also, revolvers are a fairly useful tool on account that if you're doing some fucking criminal shit, you don't have to pick up any brass.
Smart. Yes, that's a good point. I didn't think about bringing up, but yeah,
Well,
that
and also
those,
the way that
those
it
two
works-
shotguns you had.
Like, let's say the state also has to prove that they basically, for it to easily get like aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, they have to basically find the weapon. And if they can never find the fucking weapon, it actually makes them a lot harder to prove that.
Huh.
And so, actually, if you shoot someone and you ditch the gun and you know you're going to get jammed up anyway, it goes a long way to help on a case. At least that's what it seemed like from my vantage. I'm not giving anybody any legal advice or anything.
Yeah,
That's
all
just
of
kind of
this
what I
is
saw anecdotally.
this
Yeah,
is
I
all
mean,
fake,
each
and
state
any
and-
people referenced are just purely of our imagination.
No,
Yeah, plus
I'm
each
talking
state and
about a lot of real
jurisdiction's
shit. It's
different.
just that a lot of this short shit already got adjudicated in court, so this shit's already been settled.
Well, that, but
Everything
yeah.
else is past the statute of limitations, and that shit's like well behind me. It doesn't even matter.
How
anymore. Might as
would
well
you-
live a different lifetime.
How'd you get rid of a firearm if you had to? If you had to just like wipe it from existence? You go in chemical, you go in abrasive, throw it into
I
a
don't
lake.
know. I wouldn't throw it into a lake. That's liable to wash up. I mean, if you can get it in an obscure enough area, the chances of anybody ever finding that thing are
You
slim.
can drywall it
And-
into somebody's house.
And if it just sits around long enough, the thing will fucking rust through and become almost useless.
Yeah, I've thought
Plus, it's 100
like
rounds to change the barrel pattern.
I'm gonna like get an angle grinder and go to work on some serial numbers and hammers and
If you know somebody with a forge, just melt it down.
yeah, that would be good. But you
And
could do a lot of
Minecraft.
chemical stuff. You lose it in a boating accident, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, well, so I mean, you're not obligated to keep track of all your firearms. You have a right to your guns and everything. But what? You're not limited to the number of guns you have. What if you owned 100,000 guns? Do you have to know where all of them are at any given time?
Right. Yeah, have all the that's
You're like, where's this gun? You're like, I don't know. It's around.
it's probably stolen.
No,
I
don't
just
say
leave them
that.
out.
Some
In-
states actually, to my knowledge, have it so that you're required to report a stolen firearm. I think there's a couple of
Yep.
states like that.
Yeah, there's some plausible deniability there. Like, how would you
Yeah.
know if it's stolen?
Actually,
until
I'll tell you what's pretty
know.
fucking wild. Texas is actually fairly liberal when it comes to felons and firearms.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
Rolling
not
around with a
firearms.
musket.
As a legal firearm is strictly defined by basically anything with a manufactured bullet or a firing pin or striker. And cap and ball guns aren't firearms by Texas law. They are by federal law, but it makes it so that if the feds want to come after you, it's basically unenforceable because it's the state that has to catch you in the first place, unless some crazy stupid shit happens or something.
Yeah, if you've got federal charges, that weapons charge is
Well, there has to
probably
be a
not your
reason for
biggest
the feds
concern.
to search your property.
Yeah,
What the fuck you doing
that's
for
like
the
a
feds to search your
secondary
property?
issue is getting rid of the guns.
Yeah, but there's
Maybe
man,
get rid of the fucking lab that you have built or whatever.
yeah. If I was really concerned about it, like let's say all of a sudden I was very concerned for my safety and felt that I might need to actually have a something that shoots a projectile to defend myself, I'd probably get like a Colt 1852. It's a 10-shot revolver rifle that shoots a 10 gauge.
Hell yeah.
That's some ye old frontier cowboy shit right
Those
there.
are
That
cool
makes
to
it
have
10
just
gauge.
in general. Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah,
do
and it's just
some
a black
fucking
powder.
damage.
So it's not like it kicks like a fucking mule. It's just fucking big.
Makes a lot of smoke.
I still
Lot
like
of-
those paintballs, those pepper balls, the dog bounty hunter ones. I'm still fascinated by those.
Yeah. Oh, I could get an air gun.
Hold on, let me
I've
charge
seen
this
some
bitch
of those,
up.
like,
Oh, and I can get
expensive
a
ones.
flamethrower.
That's so
Yeah.
surprising that bump
So
stocks
legally-
are banned, but fucking flamethrowers.
Well, legally a flamethrower is just like owning a lighter. It's in the same legal field, unless you're in California. They're the only ones that have any laws about it.
Because of thanks Elon Musk.
That was before that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to completely diverge off of this, but I just remembered you said you were in the LSD game a lot. Someone told me one time that all the LSD starts off at being $1 per hit, and then basically it just gets, every time it changes hands, it either doubles or gets marked up, and then by the time the person that actually gets it, they're paying 5 to 10 or whatever.
I
Is
know
that?
what
Do you
that
think
is.
that's the case?
That's what you call a ninja lie. It sounds kind of true, right? Hard to look into. Can't really ask a whole lot of questions to disprove it. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of truthiness to it, but as to it starting off at $1, I mean, how much do the raw materials to make a hit cost? I imagine it's actually very insignificant.
Yeah, and I think it's just a matter of the supply. There's probably a very small number of people actually making it, so they can just kind of name it.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Roxy's, I used to get 90 30s for $20 from this guy that I used to fuck with, right? We would flip them at 30 a piece, okay? So
Good
you're
God.
paying. Hey,
You were busting
crackheads are
heads,
going to be
dude.
crackheads. At 30 a piece
Yeah,
for a fucking 30? $1 a fucking milligram.
Damn. Well, I didn't really fuck around with any pharmaceuticals or anything like that. Like, I was actually pretty wary about what I hustled in because I just didn't want to sell anything that would really string a motherfucker out. Like, the way I looked at it, like
People are gonna-
weed and psychedelics, that's just good fun, man. Like, nobody's gonna fucking suck
Hey,
someone's dick to get some
Can
LSD
I,
money.
would you take this Xbox for an eighth? I've got this designer clothing that I'd like to
In
trade
here
you.
for some marijuana? Somebody boo this man.
Oh, you haven't used the
I love
soundboard
that
at
Bob
all. I
Saget
forgot
said
about
that shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha,
And
bitch.
the only time I ever dealt in anything hard is whenever it was like wholesaling some shit and just middlemaning some stuff, and I rarely did that. And usually it was because it was just too easy not to do, and I knew that everybody involved was 100. That's the only time we ever fucked with that. Other than that, it was just hustling a bunch of weed all the time. There's a lot of easy going days. There's a lot of times we make a shitload of money, tax free, sitting down, just playing Xbox all day.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I
we
can
also had
see.
we also had a bong fridge. Can't forget about that.
The bong fridge. That's another thing that goes along with having the fancy lighter, having a nice, cool, frosty, clean piece of glass. To use makes a
Every
really
time
good
I got done
impression.
smoking, every time I got done smoking, I'd clean it out, replace the water, put it back in the fridge, and I kept my bongs pristine.
What's the
man.
fridge? I don't understand this.
I have a refrigerator. That had
I've
nothing but
never done
bongs.
this. No.
So,
But why do you refrigerate the glass? I don't understand this.
Well, the water's in it too, and so the cold water combined with the cold glass cools down the smoke and makes it a little bit less harsh. It makes it a bit more crisp hit, and it's a little bit easier to take a bit deeper of a hit and not choke yourself out. It's just smoother overall.
So it's like that was. I always liked the ice bongs, but they always expanded too much for me. Like, because
Yeah.
all the ones that my friends had were like, they were taller than I think than I ever would have fucking bought. So you're doing these massive fucking rips. And then, as soon as it fucking hits, it expands. But like, I get the argument of if it's cooler, if it's like somewhere in between, it would work better.
Well,
I've just never thought to put it in the fucking freezer, for the
yeah,
fridge.
well, yeah. And on top of that, we had a whole it was like a tall mini fridge that had nothing but bongs in it. And so, but because we kept it clean, and we also had ice on hand, so we could fill up an ice catch and shit like that. And if you have like a triple percolator bong that all has cold water and shit like that, that first hit is fucking smooth as fuck. And on top of that, it's a cool gimmick because you're dealing with fucking people that sell this shit and they're about their money. And it shows that, I actually give a shit about my smoking habits.
Touche.
Like that was my philosophy on it anyway. And sometimes I go off to people about that too. Like there's a really great line of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas where they said that anything worth doing is worth doing right. And I kind of took that to heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, have y'all thought about getting a gun, man? Are you worried about a fucking communist uprising now that Joe Biden's in office? You got to watch yourself, socialism.
I got mine.
So if you could
I
only
think now you shouldn't be buying guns, but you should be buying ammo. But that's me.
Oh yeah, if you can even find it. Aren't they just sold out everywhere?
No, it's still out. I know what I priced. The cheapest we found, 9mm. I forgot what it was like the equivalent of Winchester white box. It was around $1 a round.
Good
For
God,
9
for
millimeter?
FMJ?
Yeah.
It was for
Online
his Full Metal
ship.
Jacket.
Like I remember,
Online ship. Yep.
fuck.
When I was buying
Back in the
ammo
day.
and like bulking up, it was 14 cents for FMJ is what I usually tried to hit, like 20 something for Hollow Point.
Damn.
Yeah, it's $25 for Winchester white box for 100 rounds. Is what I was paying before this shit.
I remember
But I
when I
mean,
found out how
5.56 is
ridiculous it
around there.
was. It was like 80 cents for like a real high-end federal jacket at Hollow Point. And when ammo first started really going up when Obama got into office. And I remember being so butthurt about that. I thought it was fucking ridiculous.
People
And hearing
did
about $1 for fucking 9mm, that is stupid.
No, people did like $600 AR-15 cases, so it's 1,000 round. Well, I can't remember if that's actually how much it
Yeah.
was, but it was
Well, it used to
very,
be a
very. It
shitload
was like
surplus
4
ammo.
or 5 times what it was when COVID started.
Shit. 460 bullets were like 220 back then.
Okay, real quick. On Cheaper Than Dirt, first thing off the rip. Winchester white box. Winchester white box. 50 rounds, $99.
That's
Fuck
double what you
me.
just said.
Full metal jack. No, this is straight off Cheaper Than Dirt. You were looking at like Ammo Finder, and you're looking at what do you call those like websites where they will look through like 20 different websites at the same time?
Oh,
So,
like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
not scrapers or accumulators, but aggregators. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just looking at aggregators, but I mean, like, okay, Winchester, PDX, so like hollow points, 147 grain, 50 rounds, $60.
Still, fuck, dude.
I mean, this is cheaper than dirt. They are a little bit high. Okay, Federal Premium, low recoil, 9mm, 20, hang on. 9mm,
Hey, Joe,
high
let me
for
ask you.
stock.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. What do you think is the most overrated round?
I'll tell you. For me, I think it's 40.
Man, you and me both, brother. It's
Yeah.
40 for me too.
Yeah, that or maybe like 10 millimeter or maybe 300 blackout, but 40 would be number
I would
one.
say 10.
What? Well, I mean, the memes are so good though, man.
yeah.
Oh, no, you're right, but it's the same
My
thing with
favorite
40,
one is
right?
that
But I
picture
mean,
of
like,
the ballistics gel picture, and they like Photoshop the fucking cavity that gets made with like a nuclear explosion.
yeah.
but I mean, like, 9's good, 45's good, 40 is good, and I still swear by Glock 23.
Come
I
on,
fucking
man.
love
Why are you
Glock 23.
surrendering the capacity? Just stick with the 9. The 9 will still get it done, and it's not like you're gonna knock
I
somebody
carry
down
a
with
9.
40. Well,
No, I carry a fucking 9 for a
but there's
reason. Because I know
the
how to
reason I
goddamn
don't
shoot.
like a 40 is because there's no reason to take it. It's a really weird intermediate thing in between a 45 and a 9 mil, in my humble opinion.
But it's popular. Like 30
Just because
years
it's
ago, that's
popular
good.
doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but you're always gonna find it. You can always find 40. It is in the same realm as finding 9, 40, 45, 357, 38. 30-06, 3 and weight. You're 5.56, 7.62 by 39. You're always gonna find those rounds. You know what I mean? 40 has come into that
Now,
realm.
there's only one thing that makes me go easy on 40 at all, and that is that's also where 357 SIG comes from.
Yeah, that well,
I like
and then
357
it's a good carbine round, but at the same time, get a fucking 45.
Man, did you see that?
Know?
Did you see that old school guy that shot that dude in the head with a 357 SIG when the dude walked into church and shot a dude with a shotgun?
That was 357 SIG?
Yeah, dude, he just
I
went.
saw the
"Pow!"
video. I didn't know the caliber.
Yeah,
I just
that's
assumed it was
that was
like
a 357 SIG. He fucking put that dude down.
Dude, he dropped like a fucking potato sack.
Yeah, if you find that
was-
link, send it to me.
Church shooter. That was Texas, right?
Yeah, that was Texas.
The guy
okay.
shot. He killed the guy on the by the door on the left side.
Yeah,
And then
Texas
he
is
shot
one
someone
of
else
those
on the right
rootin'
side.
tootin' places like that. Fuck around and jump to. But an armed society is a polite society.
For sure, for sure. So, Cheaper Than Dirt has
Yeah.
actually had like hundreds of complaints filed against them for price gouging. But yeah, at one point, 1,000 rounds of AR-15 ammo was $500. They're usually like
dude.
200 or 150, something like that.
You know,
Okay,
I never
figure
had a
this.
223. I was just too much of a fan of 545, especially because the ammo was just so fucking cheap. It was so cheap,
It's always
dude.
been cheap. It's the wonderful thing of like, hey guys, have you heard this wonderful thing that the military came out with? It's like 300 blackout. It's like this total intermediate round. It's the future.
Dude, I think Joe's the
every
only
Russian said,
person
yeah.
that's ever told me about 545. And you too,
Yeah, it's
Adam. Like,
The
only you
Russian
two.
300.
Oh, yeah. Well, so a 460 Magnum would also shoot a 545, it shoot a 45 long Colt, and shoot a 45 Schofield, and that was actually pretty fucking handy. Like in my gun case, I just had a bunch of fucking 45 long Colts and 454 and 460 bullets all lying around, and shit, 454 was still fucking beastly coming out of that thing. It was just to the point where it's really starting to get uncomfortable.
They literally shoot elephants with 454.
Yeah,
I want you to think of that sentence.
but well, I mean, the 460 Magnum is breaking the high velocity marker. That's what makes that thing so fucking crazy. That was the main reason I bought the thing, is that you got a 45 caliber fucking bullet going at 2,200 feet per second, and that breaks past all the plasticity of people's flesh and shit like that, and it just really starts fucking shit up. If I had to shoot somebody,
How many grains is that?
a lot. Well,
Is it
I'm
like
not.
3 and 400?
You know, that's actually one of the measurements that I never understood. You know, I learned a lot about the metric system from Hustle and Drugs, but a lot of these fucking gun terms are so fucking convoluted that I'm just like, man, I'm just tired of doing conversions and trying to figure out what this shit is.
Yeah, and you know what's fucked is like, Highcock 45, the YouTuber? Or no.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
It was Paul Harrell,
Yeah.
actually. Do you know Paul Harrell?
He's like a hero to FUDs.
Paul Harrell is another great YouTuber, and he was talking about the fact that like how to spot fake gun experts, and he said one of the things you can tell if someone's bullshitting is they'll say, "Oh, that there never was this," or "This doesn't exist," because in firearms, there is such a breadth of different kinds of engineering that's happened that even if you've never heard of it, there's a chance somebody made that shit.
Yeah.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, and
look
that
at
makes it confusing
this-
too.
Go to Wikipedia and click on Wildcat cartridges. I've spent days on this
Are you
rabbit
talking
hole
about
of
the super high velocity cartridges that are out there?
yeah,
Is
just
that
like
what?
these crazy things that's like that they made for 2 years. It was an experimental cartridge.
Yeah.
Some of these cartridges only had one gun ever made for it, and it's like the perfect round, and it just for some they're like perfectly
There's
designed one
usually
animal.
manufacturing issues and shit. Like, you ever heard of a 22
Oh yeah.
Fireball? Like the like
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, isn't it?
I'm sure that it's out there somewhere. That's the 357 cartridge that got choked down to a 22. And they made like a
Oh
fucking
God,
target
why?
pistol for this thing. And this thing
Why?
shot stupid fast. Like, that bullet is fucking moving, man. But it
Have you
was
ever wanted to shoot someone behind the tank? We got a cartridge for that.
The
I mean, I
221
do.
Why?
221
What,
Remington
Valkyrie?
Fireball.
Not familiar with it. There's a lot of them, man.
What did you say 22 Fireball or what were you call what did you
Yeah,
say?
22 Fireball. It's a
22 Fireball.
357 choked down to a 22.
By the way, while he looks that up, I pulled up the
400 core bonds a bitch in round two. That's the 45 ACP choked down to 10 mil.
but see that makes sense though.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
well,
This isn't
that's,
the
Yeah,
ones that
that
doesn't-
does make sense. Yeah, that's like
that's actually pretty fucking beefy. That was one that I'm surprised never really got all that popular.
Okay, so let me read this real quick. 460 Weatherby Magnum, blah 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 blah, 450 grain or 500 grain, which is fucking insane. It is
Yeah.
65,000 psi of pressure. Okay, before it arrived, it was the only thing faster, or I'm sorry, the only thing more powerful was the 600 Nitro Express.
Yeah.
Think of
Are you
that sentence: a round that is only used in double-barreled rifles, not shotguns, double-barreled rifles for hunting big game in Africa. And someone
yeah,
said,
it just sounds
"Nah,
cool.
hold my
Yeah.
stethoscope. I
Have you ever
got you,
seen
fam."
You ever seen a nitro shell cut open?
I'm about to
It's
look it
actually
up,
got
I'm
like
looking at it
cotton
right now.
and nitroglycerin in there. Like, that's the reason they called it a nitro. And
Oh, like the old ones? I didn't know that.
yeah. And the only reason they even had a 600 nitro is because I forget what celebrity owned one, and they're like, "Why do you own a 500 Nitro Express?" And it's like, because they don't make a 600.
900 grain bullet.
Well, was it the 850 is the T-Rex gun, which was
Yeah.
that stupid thing that came out in Dubai that everybody sold.
They also got like a 957 FMJ. That thing is fucking
Yeah,
dumb.
that's like
You ever seen
yeah.
a two bore and some of the stopping
Okay.
rifles? They're not made just to kill an elephant. They're made to stop a charging elephant.
Okay, that's what I was gonna get to. Was like, I remember when I went down the rabbit hole of the 850 and then 4-bore, 2-bore, and then back then they would use them to take out a flock of geese. So like
the
if you're
bunt gun.
if you're
You ever seen a
duck
bunt
Oh
hunting-
yeah, they're on boats
yeah,
and
that's what I'm
shit.
getting at.
Yeah.
A 0 gauge.
And you know it's bad if way back in the day they're like, this is fucking up the environment.
Yeah, they don't. Oh man, we're trying to
someone
shoot.
literally had to
once.
say, "Yeah, I have to. The 2-bore is too small. I have to make something bigger." And then they say, "Oh God, I have to mount it to its own boat to go duck hunting." And you're like, "Wait, you had to make a boat for your rifle?"
Yeah,
And
for
they're
the
like,
gun.
"Yes, chap. It's for the sportsman with class." And you're like, "You're taking out a herd of elephants, motherfucker. A herd of elephants is what that's made for." It's
Yeah.
fucking insane. Yeah, like that goes back to
That's
like
a
Wildcat.
big ass
All right.
gun.
Hey,
So much
let's-
fun researching this.
Hey, let's say that you were able to get a free gun, whatever gun you wanted, so long as it's like, handheld. What would you get?
So you mean like a handgun,
Yeah, something that a civilian can buy.
but no rifles?
No, you can get a rifle.
Oh, okay.
You just have
You
to be
just
able
mean,
to
like,
hold
not
it
a
as your
tank.
person. Like, don't buy an anti-aircraft gun. I'm not talking
Yeah,
about that.
yeah,
I'm
I know.
talking about what you
Fucking
think
mounted
your gun is
machine
meant
gun.
to
Something,
be.
yeah, something that Hickok or Gerard Thumb has made a video of. Just make that your guideline,
Oh,
right?
Garand Thumb. Yeah.
Well,
You mean the guy who breathes 1,000 rounds at a time? Yeah. that guy.
yeah, that
Oh,
guy.
fuck.
Ghosting his triggers and shit.
He's better than
Uh,
Tactical Toolbox, who can't buy a gun and not put $5,000 into it because the trigger, the frame, the mag
I
mount are
love
just shitty.
Grant Thumb's video about the high point. I thought that was actually very enlightening.
Yeah, no, those high point
I like
40s
my
are
high point.
badass.
Well,
I like
mean,
my high point.
it
They're great for
works.
what they are.
Hey, did you ever see the higher point?
You mean the
No.
one that was in Columbine High School?
No. There was a gun buyback, and they had a they did not think their brilliant plan through. And so basically, anything that could actually shoot a cartridge they classified as a gun is qualifying for this buyback, and they're going to give you like 250.
I heard about
thing.
this.
And so he went and got a 2x4, a pipe, and a fucking mousetrap, and it got a Sharpie and wrote higher point on the side of it. And went and got $250 for it, Buster.
Damn, I can't believe they
I've
did
heard
that.
this story. I've heard this.
The
myth.
pictures are out there.
I'm gonna
I didn't know
look into
that.
that.
I just heard about it on K.
I wish I've shot more guns so I could make a more involved. Because
Oh,
on one
I also
hand,
had
I
a-
want to go like.
I also had a 22 mini Volver. That thing was really bitching too.
22
That was like the,
revolver.
yeah, the thing weighs like
Short?
140 grams. 22 long. But the barrel is
Okay.
like an inch long, man. I think it's like an inch and a quarter.
Oh,
maybe.
22 long rifle for my keychain.
Basically, it's that small. Like, man, you can put this thing in your sock and no one would ever know. Actually, you can hide this thing just palming it and no one would know
People
you got a gun.
recommend Aguila ammo for that, which is what I use a lot because it's cheap 22 and fairly high quality as far as I'm concerned.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was a pretty cool little gun to have. You know, I never even pointed a gun at anger at anybody until I fucking ran into the dude that tried to carjack me. Really, I kept business 100 all the time, man. There's actually a lot of real easygoing days back then, man. I would just be sitting around fucking whooping people's ass at Call of Duty, smoking weed all day, just hanging out with people coming to fucking pick shit up and drop shit off. But I don't have to do anything. People are coming to me.
Going
gotcha.
back to the 22, my dad used to have a 22 long rifle, 4-shot Derringer revolver. So, you know, like being younger, I was like, well, you know, it's only a 22, you know, like those little like dumb shit kid days, right?
Yeah.
So we went out back, and he just pulled a old skillet out of the kitchen, hung it on a fucking tree, and we shot it. And when you figure out that 22 will go through a cheap skillet at 15 feet, you're like, you know, I totally get why this works. I mean, it's smaller than like the old school Nokia phones, you know what I mean, before they were flip phones.
Are you
They're
familiar
they're
with an
just
American
tiny.
180?
With the what?
An American 180?
Is it pistol?
It looks like a Tommy gun had sex with a Lewis gun. So it looks like a Tommy gun with a pie on top of it. And it's made by Mormons, and they actually made like 575 round drums. They sold them to Utah cops back in the 60s. They didn't use them very much, but there was one time a dude opened fire on some people that were running away from the cops after they had like shot a couple people, and they shot like 68 bullets at the car and hit like 20 shots, and these things like bounced around all over the place. Man, they fucked these dudes up. Like, this thing is fucking effective, and it shoots like and it shoots like the tiniest little bullet. It just shoots so many of them so fast.
Well, it's like I've never dropped money on an AR-22. Like, my buddy's got 2 of them. I get the argument for them. It's good training. It's good, cheap way to do it. I just got a real problem with dropping that much money on a 22 that's not a Ruger. But I do get it. But like, you know, once I started playing with 22 as like a little bit older, I was like, my dad was like, by the way, I want you to think how effective this would be if you were in Chicago in the 70s. And he was like, now you can understand why I carry a 22. And I was like, you know, I'll concede that, because like my buddy's dad always had the Kel-Tec, was it P30, that shoots a 22 Magnum. So you got 25, 30 fucking rounds in this pistol. I mean, it's kind of a weird grip because you got double stack 22 mag, but holy shit, does it work good? It's got fiber optic sights. You can pick one up
Yeah.
for like
22 is
350.
nothing, man. To quote Wyatt Earp, you ever been shot by a 22? You know, like it's no
Yeah,
pun.
I mean, like,
if you get
it's
tagged a couple
fucking
times with a 22, man, you better go see a fucking doctor, man, quick.
Yeah, well, it's the
Especially if you get hit with like some
unpredictability
hollow
of it.
points and shit like
The
that.
the way
Well,
they
it's
ricochet
actually
and stuff.
no, that's like if you're shooting an AR, man. It's actually a relatively low velocity round. It moves in a fairly straight line.
I just figured, does it not glance off bones, and it's less likely to through and through? It'll just
Sometimes
get
weird
stuck.
shit happens. Actually, I saw a autopsy report on a guy that got shot kind of sideways, and it hit him in his forehead, and the bullet actually whizzed around his skull and came out the same entrance wound.
Yeah,
Fucking scrambled
yeah,
his
shit
dead
like
brain.
that. That's what I mean. Like, if you can hit
Like,
someone
there's
in their
freak
fucking
shit that
eyeball
can
with a 22, they're dying. You know
And
what I
there
mean?
has
But
been
you have to
time
be able to hit their eyeball, you
you
know?
make like a sack around your bones, and there are times that a bullet has hit a bone and then it starts going woof and traveling down that sack because there's just not very much resistance going down that way.
Yeah, path of least
Hell
resistance.
yeah.
So
But
I
that's
have,
also like a freak circumstance. 9 times out of 10, if you hit someone center mass and shit like that, it's just gonna go just dig straight into somebody. Now, some weird shit can happen if an AR bullet hits a bone. That shit's liable to go fucking do anything. Anything that passes the high velocity
Yeah,
mark,
look at like
200,
762
2000.
by 39. Yeah, they
Yeah.
call it the meat grinder in Afghanistan for a reason. I mean, like, it's very effective. It just destroys you where the fuck it is. But like, okay, so I mean, go back to the 22 argument. Right? So if me and you were having a conversation, and out of nowhere I squeezed off a shot point blank in your chest with a paintball, I
With
don't
a what?
think that with a paintball gun.
Okay.
You would be like, what the absolute fuck? It would hurt. There would be a pause. I mean, like, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You know, now take that and times it by, 3 or 4 for a 22 long rifle.
Well, also,
You know what I mean?
if you get shot with a 22, that puts you on a clock. Like, let's say all of a sudden you get shot and you're actually in the middle of a fight of some sort. You're on a clock to finish up this fight before you really have bled too much and it becomes a problem and shit
That's
like
true.
that. And depending on where
Yeah,
you
hell
get hit. But I mean, it's not that hard to get hit in a fucked up place and really be bleeding kind of bad, man. And if you're leaking really bad,
yeah,
I
if you get
mean,
shot in the neck or something like
yeah.
that.
And if you get hit with a paintball or something, that's going to suck. You might actually be able to disorient someone and blind them a fair amount, but they're not out of the fight, and it
I was
doesn't
just
put them
saying
on
the
the clock.
pain.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
the
I'm just saying,
pain
like,
is only so
the
much of a
simple amount of
deterrent.
pain.
So to answer your question, I've never shot either of these guns, but if I could get anything, it would be the MK16, the Scar. I don't know if that, but
That's a pretty bitchin' gun,
with
man.
the
Look,
14
308,
14
308's a
inch
bad
barrel.
motherfucker.
Yeah, 14-inch barrel, so nice in between. And then if I was wanting to go long range, Accuracy International.
You can go long range with a 308, man. That's a battle rifle.
Oh, I
You
just
can
mean
land some far shots with a 308.
like this second choice that I have. It's the Accuracy International AXMC. And the reason I chose both of those
What
is because
the heck is that?
so
I
the
actually kinda
barrel.
missed me on that.
Yeah, AI makes the top, the best
Accuracy
sniper.
International.
Yeah,
the
the
ones who made
top
the
snipers.
Arctic Magnum.
Did they make the interdiction?
Let's see. They might have.
Well, what
Or do
caliber
you mean
bullet
the
does it shoot?
intervention? So the reason why I chose both of those guns is for the barrel changeability and the modularity of them, so to speak. So the AXMC, you can do 338 Lapua, 300 Win Mag, or
okay.
308 Winchester.
Damn.
Yeah, and it comes with all the shit you need, and it's keyless. Toolless. You can do all of it like on the
Oh,
fly.
that's pretty sick.
Both of those were made
Do you
for
mean
the
the-
British Army.
Did you mean the
Now-
from the ground
intervention?
up.
Yeah.
I think they did.
I've been playing too much Elite Dangerous lately, and people keep on trying to.
No,
interdict me.
literally, yeah, that is what came up. I was like, what the hell is Elite Dangerous? I don't think they did, but I can't remember. It was a good company that made that.
Yeah.
Pulling
Oh,
it up
so
right now.
are you familiar with an LAR Grizzly?
Shy-Tac. LAR.
Yeah, there you go,
Grizzly.
Shy-Tech. Texas Plinker made one. He made a video because he bought one a while back.
So when I got out of hustling, the next gun that I was thinking about buying was either getting a Barrett of some sort
Nice.
or getting an LAR Grizzly. And they were fairly cheap back then. I wanted to get an Automag, but they were just impossible to find, and they were just too fucking expensive, and it was kind of a gimmicky gun.
The handgun?
Yeah, but they look nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pistol.
But a
It was in
fucking
Terminator
LAR
1,
Grizzly.
wasn't it? Or was it 2? 1. Yeah, it was in Terminator 1.
Oh, the
Pretty
Automag?
Yeah. That was in,
Well, but the LAR Grizzly, man, it shoots a 45 Win Mag, and that's no fucking punk. And on top of that, the thing is like basically just a beefed up 1911.
Well, no, it's got
And
a
I
nice
don't know
long
what it is.
barrel,
My hand just fits one really nice. And I
longer
like 'em.
firing pin than a 1911.
Okay, now look at the thumbnail that I'm
Little bit
posting in
bigger.
general. This is the selling point. Because whenever it goes back, when it's cycling, it looks super fucking different, like a D. Where you have the frame moving and the slide staying.
Oh, is that an Automag or is that a Wildy? Or
It says Automag, but it looks like it's all stainless or something.
it looks like a Wildy, man. The fucking gun from Death Wish 3.
Yeah, I think it's an Automag, but with stainless grips on it or something.
Okay.
The guy rented
Oh
it
no,
for the
no, they have. Maybe it is a Wildy.
Go to 38 seconds on that video and you can watch it cycle.
No, if you look at the porting, so to speak, on the top where the sight line is, it looks like the Automag.
Yeah.
But they both have the wood grips. The Wildy, it's like a one long cutout, and that one it's broken up into 3 sections on that little thumbnail. Yeah, the thing is funky looking though. Hey, it works.
Yeah, for sure.
44 amp.
Yeah, there's so much fucking cool firearm shit that's coming out all the time. It's interesting to see how, like, the trends of this type of shit. Like, have you seen the fucking Caltech, like, P90 pistol? Like the P50?
I heard Caltech was coming out with a bunch of new shit.
Dude, this thing looks
Oh,
like a gun out of
Caltech's fine.
Cyberpunk almost.
Oh, P50.
Like, there's a gun in Cyberpunk that looks almost like
Caltech.
the thing.
Oh
P50.
yeah,
I'm
somebody
posting it, Joe.
else did. Demolition Ranch did a video on it.
Yeah.
And then he explained the barrel
No, I
harmonics of having like more weight underneath the barrel.
Huh. I mean, it looks like a cool concept.
He also just did the Calico.
Yeah, that
Where's
thing
the
is a
money?
fucking janky piece of shit. But you know what? They're pretty cool.
They're cool
Like-
until all your fucking rounds come out.
Yeah. Well, they're. You ever heard of an Evans Old Sporter? So it has
No.
a helical mag in the fucking butt of this gun, but it's built into the gun, and it's a lever action that shoots a 40 cal, and the thing held like
Yeah, I'm
44
looking at
rounds or some shit like that in like the fucking 1870. Like
Yeah,
really,
like this is so weird. Because I
back-
mean, it goes back
back
to like
in
this
the
black powder, like multiple barrels. Because it's like we can only have, when it takes you time to reload, why not just have multiple barrels and multiple triggers? So that's how you get like these weird Devil May Cry pistols or whatever.
Maxim 9
Like-
is what have you seen that? The Maxim 9?
Mm-mm.
That
Oh wait.
reminds me
So it's just
me.
a fucking Maxim gun that converted to 9mm.
No. Look in general.
Oh, you're
The,
talking about
Yeah, look in general. I'm posting. Just look at the thumbnail.
Oh,
They built it to have a integrated suppressor.
Damn,
That's
that's
part of the frame.
I think it's quiet as fuck.
Yeah, I mean that was their whole thing because it was Silencer Co. made their own pistol from the ground up.
Are you?
So I mean it all goes back to like the Praxis.
Oh my God! I had that fucking
thing's
Demolition
pretty
Ranch
slick.
video playing, and it was just gunshots, and I thought one of you was just shooting a gun casually while you were talking, because Joe's expressed a desire to do that before, and I was like, that sounds exactly like a firearm. What the fuck? And then neither
Man.
of you were lighting up, and I was like, son of a bitch.
I'll tell you what's a fucking cool ass gun, a Bullard Express.
You know, I saw one of those
What's
calicos in a pawn shop. A Bullard Express.
Bullard Express is like an old high-end lever gun, but man, they made this thing shooting some fucking calibers, dude. Like, it's like a lever action buffalo rifle, basically.
Yeah, 50 Express. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't imagine getting the fucking wood and metal stock. Like,
But some of these things were designed to be cracked in half and fit in a briefcase, so you could have this thing on a train.
for Buffalo.
Yeah, you just ride down the fucking railroad, fucking shooting buffalo.
Are you guys on the emails for Rural King guns?
I am not.
That's actually really good just to see like what good prices would be for a gun, and they have really good deals.
Oh,
but
well, shit, I can't. You know, I can't buy a gun.
yeah,
I'm in it
but
for the
it's
love of the
just
game.
well, no, it's cool to see the new shit that they're coming out with. But they had a fucking Gatling gun that's probably still for sale. It's like 70 grand.
Oh, the
It's,
one that takes Glock mags.
well, no, it's a historical piece. It shoots
Oh.
like 45-70 government. Is that
Hold on.
right?
Dig this. This is how crazy Texas gun laws are. It is entirely legal for me, a convicted felon that shot somebody, to make a cannon.
It's for pumpkins.
I would expect nothing less,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Oh,
And
well,
actually,
Rod.
you know, I'm
Yeah,
a
that's
machinist by
badass.
trade. I'm fully within my capability of making one. Like, I could totally do it. I've been mulling around the idea of doing it just as like a showpiece to show the foreigners, basically anyone that's not a Texan.
Yeah, you got this fucking comically long wick on it. And it's just like,
Well,
you better
really,
get out
the
of here.
Take-It cannon was fucking tiny, dude. Like, this thing is not big. It is a lot smaller than you think it is. They actually got it at the History Museum in Austin, and I'm like, really? That's what they were shooting over? Like, this thing's like the size of a Pringles can.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, man, it is getting late, and I am getting tired. It's about
Hell
time
yeah.
for me to.
No, me too.
wind
I'm
this down.
spacing out, trying to keep track of all these different things that I want to research all this shit that you've been talking about.
Yeah, well, it was fun
Thank you
fucking
so
gabbing
much,
with
man.
y'all for a hot minute. Oh, of course, man. Anytime. Shit,
No, I really,
we
I
didn't even
really, I
go
really
deep
wanted to
into
pick your
politics.
brain on stocks. Thank you,
Uh,
thank you.
Yeah. Any like, you know, I got my own thought process about shit. You know, I've called some, but and I've had some mediocre ones too, but I've never taken a loss actually.
That's pretty good.
Although actually, I
That's
currently
very
own one that I'm
impressive.
pretty much chopped up, but I didn't put much in it. But yeah, of course, I'd love to talk about fucking stocks, man. Hopefully, I'll have some good luck in the near future, and I'll get to be even more smarmy about it.
Yeah. Well, no shirt, smoking jacket, and all.
Fuck yeah. Hashtag best life.
We're probably gonna watch that Tucker Carlson thing, just so it's, you know, immortalized forever in this VOD. But yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
We got to
I'll
get our
catch- I'll
pirate
catch
shit
y'all around.
on. Next time you play Sea
Oh.
of Thieves, let me know.
Oh yeah, man. I'm around. But yeah, I will catch y'all later. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Thank you very much.
Later.
That was fun.
I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I
Good.
find the gems, the fucking gold. You want to watch that Tucker Carlson clip
It's alright.
real quick?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Yeah, I gotta
curious
pull it up.
to
My
see.
buddy texts me and goes, "Hey, holy fuck, I'm so sorry, dude. How do I call into your podcast?" And I was like, you're Tuesday," and he was like, "No, we scheduled Tuesday so I can come on the next episode." I was like, "Yeah, but you can't come on tonight. We're full." He was like, "Oh."
No, Tuesdays
was
are
like, yeah.
the wide open ones.
I don't know. I consider them the same, but
Well, he could call in
I was like-
now. I mean, now that the
no, it's
guest's
too late
gone.
now. Yeah, but I gotta.
But Yeah, he would definitely have
Yeah,
to
but
wait.
yeah, because he wanted to talk politics, and I was like, the conversation needs to be had about that. So we'll come back to this later.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. You ready?
One sec. Uh-oh. Computer's
Whoa.
slowing down.
So Crossfire was the show, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think it was Tucker Carlson's show.
Welcome back to Crossfire. We're talking to Jon Stewart, who's just
Shut up, Tucker.
superiority. John, you're bumming us out.
All right. We're at all zeros. 240p in all its glory. Shut up, music. You ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Crossfire. We're talking to Jon Stewart, who's just lecturing us on our moral inferiority. John, you're bumming us out. Tell us, what do you think of the Bill O'Reilly vibrator story?
I'm sorry? I don't. I'm here to confront you because we need help from the media, and they're hurting us. I made a special effort to come on the show today because I have mentioned this show as being bad. It's not so much that it's bad as it's hurting America.
Why?
So I wanted to
But
come
in
here
its
today
defense, let me-
and say...
Wait,
I just, here's just what I wanted to tell you guys.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop hurting America. I watch
He
the show every
seems
day,
weird.
and it kills me.
I can tell you love
It's
it.
it's so painful
Yeah,
to
it's
watch.
'cause he doesn't
Your
have
partisan,
writers helping him right now.
What do you call it? Hacks.
Wait, John, wait.
You have a
I don't think you can
responsibility
call
to the
anyone a
public
hack.
discourse, and you
You need to get
fail
a job at a journalism
miserably.
school. I think you're a good comedian. I think your lectures are boring.
You're on CNN. The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you? It's someone who watches your show and cannot take it anymore. I just can't.
You need to get
fail
a job at a journalism
miserably.
Oh, Adam, you're letting me
You need to
down.
go to one. Now, this is theater. I mean, it's
It is- no,
obvious.
no, it is-
How old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So-
I hate the
so-
show.
at all.
I do think you're more fun on your show. Just my opinion.
But
Okay, Zach, Jon Stewart.
I know, this is on CNN.
You're as big
funny.
a dick on your show as you are on any show.
There's a laugh in there, too. So I don't
He
understand.
seemed
what,
like he was on coke, dude.
was this like a big gotcha or something for Jon Stewart? I don't get it.
I don't know, Adam. That's a weird one. Maybe, I think he's been on... That was kind of chopped up, too, so that might have been made to make him look bad. You know what I mean? It's actually 14
Yeah, I
minutes.
think that was also.
That was probably all the
Maybe,
worst parts.
Yeah, maybe he remembered it differently, or. I mean, I'm sure it's altogether it was better than.
Yeah, it was
we
14
saw.
minutes, so... So
By the
yeah,
way,
in context, he probably had some
I
good
didn't get to
arguments
it.
and stuff.
I had a Scar 17L pulled up until you said that, so I was like, oh.
That's the 7.62 variant, right?
I just wanted I want 308 and long. So, Scar 308, perfectly long.
Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't know
what
the Scar models.
It's like the Scar L.
But, I mean,
So it's like the Scar
Yeah,
16
but-
or 17L, I think. I could be wrong.
but see, like, it's, as a platform, it is the better AR in 308. It's everything an AR could be. And, like, there are ARs just as good, AR-10s, that I just don't know them. You know what I mean? I don't keep up with AR manufacturers the way that my buddy does. So,
Yeah,
you
there's
know, the
there's so
Scar is
much.
the easy go-to. And
It's
plus,
just
I really do like the stock.
Such a it's just a good modular weapon system.
But see, like, if you have a, like, but see, there are R's, Hang on. I've seen ARs where they will put them in was it the PS 2000? I'm trying to think. Oh god, I'm blanking. I can't remember the fucking rifle. It's the magazines that you load on the top and they're sitting sideways and it turns them 90 degrees and drops down into the chamber. It's not the Sub 2000. Sub 2000's Keltec. I've had one of those. It's like 5.7 by 28. I think is the round.
Oh, the FN gun, not the handgun, but the other. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, because see, you can get that stock, okay?
Oh, the AR-57?
Yeah, okay, so you have the pistol we're thinking about, the 5.7 by 28. That's stock, and then you can put an AR build into it and turn it into a bullpup.
Yeah, it takes
a lot of people do that with,
AR-57 takes P90 magazines.
No, I'm saying the AR platform. Like if you have a 22 AR or a Ruger 1022, you can put it in that stock as a bullpup. The only difference is you don't have the top loading magazines. Your Ruger 1022 mags go on the bottom.
That's kind of cool. I don't know why I'd
And
want
it looks cool as shit.
Yeah, sometimes those don't work as good as they look, though. You just gotta do the research.
I'm posting it in general. I can't remember the rifle this is based off of because I always get the fucking numbers wrong. I'm hoping when you look at the thumbnail, you'll be able to remember.
That was a P90, right?
It's like a P90.
Yeah.
P90 rifle. Yeah, that's it. P90 rifle. PS90, FNP90. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. Yeah, well, I think they're cool as shit because
that's funny for a 1022. That's why it's called the 9022. I would buy a 1022 and do it to that just for fun.
But see, it's gotta be a bullpup.
Zero recoil, you know.
I mean, yeah, because the P90 military is short rifle, right? Shorter, but the civilian market without class 3, whatever you call it. It's got like a fucking 10-inch barrel on the end of that thing that's sticking out of it, so it loses all the appeal. I don't want this tiny little gun with a giant barrel sticking out. Because look at
Well, yeah, it would be a little bit purposeless.
Yeah, like look at the general. Look at that barrel sticking out of the end of that. Like that loses all appeal of me wanting to buy that damn thing.
I know, and it shoots. The 5.7's not a very large round. It's like a pistol caliber. So I guess the longer barrel would make it more effective, but yeah, it's...
No, it's just civilian, because it's not long enough, but... I mean, 5.7's like the 357 SIG, like, it's got a purpose, it's fast, it's very fucking fast, and it's, you know, it's 9mm but faster, you know, that's all it is. It's its purpose. Higher capacity, etc.
Gratata, shooty, pointin' tooty, Rudy tooty.
And we did all that, and I didn't even get to my God questions with Adam, so I'm going to save those.
Okay. Cool.
We went from LSD to God, and I had a whole paragraph.
You're so funny, you're just like, fuck the introduction.
Well, I mean, you literally said everything I had for the first 2 sentences in my notes.
Oh, that wasn't intentional. I remember looking at your notes.
No, I know you didn't.
Okay, good.
No.
Yeah.
No, because we both used the same source material as preparation for questions. So it's similar line of thinking we were getting at. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit I'm gonna look into that he was talking about.
Yeah,
The fucking Derringer is the craziest shit. Bond arms. Things are fucking expensive.
Derringers?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know 150. I mean, they're the same price as the Hot one. 150 to 200.
Oh, the ones
For a
I'm looking at
Derringer.
were like 1,000. This one's 500.
No, you're looking at... Okay, but you can get Bond arms with, like, pearl grips with purple frames, and you can get pretty expensive Bond arms and tournaments.
Oh,
Like,
okay, yeah. They have ones
like
for
a
their like
straight up-
269.
Yeah, like run-of-the-mill Derringer 22 long rifle or 22 short. I've had both. Where it's just like it's
Oh
just
man, I might get
a pop shot.
a 357 Magnum one. That would be cool.
How many rounds? Is it 4?
2.
Or 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have
they did
45
pretty good.
long Colt. I mean,
Like-
you know, it's easy to reload
Yeah.
too.
You don't use it, but I mean, you just pop off and run.
No, but I mean, if you could just carry, you know, like 6 rounds, and you just pop them in if you need them again. But yeah, that's not what it's for. But I'm just saying you could, you know, it's not like you can interchange the.
I just look at it as
barrels,
like, yeah, but I mean, like they got pretty good reviews from the Bond.
oh
but
my
I mean, all it
gosh,
is
they
two
have one
shots.
that's called the Z Slayer, and it's just neon green with red splatter on it, and the hand grip has a Z carved into it. It's so fucking dumb. $700.
Oh, that one with a flag on it next to it for 700. If it wasn't so fucking expensive.
That's what I was saying. Is so some of them are.
That Ace of Spades next to it was nice. Long barrel. See, like at that point, you're
That
like,
Texas,
let's get
yeah. What the
something else.
fuck are you doing?
Okay, hold
with
up.
A barrel,
That bullpup
6-inch
9?
barrel?
Look into the reviews for the last gun on the left.
Yeah.
I think that those reviews were because it's that bullpup pistol.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Like I'm.
Oh no, that one, the last pistol. Yeah, that. Yeah, there you go. Bullpup 9. Yeah, because they there were some issues with that, with it cycling.
Oh yeah, these do kind of sound like somebody paid them to do that.
Well, I mean, it's a good idea. People have been trying to make bullpup pistols forever, but I really don't think the reviews are nice. Because there were a couple of channels that bought it and they've been like, you know, I've tried a lot of different ammo trying to get this right, and it just doesn't work. Here you go. Here's a video of Forgotten Weapons. That's the last one I saw of it. I know he tried more than a few different kinds of ammo, and I remember none of them.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
oh,
it's
man,
good.
I don't know if there's a lot of confirmation bias with firearms too. People like they'll get a whole shit ton of work done to it, and then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's working now," or whatever, and they'll assume
the best.
it
or
looks.
The best device.
It looks like an odd extraction design too. It's like striker fired, I think.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure.
But yeah, they have a diagram
But,
on the website of it.
Yeah, but it all goes back to like, you know, if your extractor is the weak point, then oh god, you know.
Hell yeah, Joe. Well, thank you. That's episode 19, everybody. Check us out on BitChute, YouTube, DLive, Trovo, Twitter, at Flow Euphoria on everything. Joe's at Joe Schmo on about everything.
Hi.
Oh.
I've never played.
Oh, Jesus, you're loud. Hold on.
Just bye.
Okay, you're good now. Where's Fed at? Fed, get your ass in here, dude.
He's
I
done.
can't hear you.
No, he's not chatting either.
Yeah, he's probably passed the fuck out. Fed, I'm calling you out. Apple pie wants to slaughter.
Why am I fighting him? Why do you
He's
do
trying to
that?
get views. Play along with it.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, he just said fuck you in the chat. You're gonna just take that?
Yeah, it just means he wants me. He can't have me. Mic drop.
Uh-oh.
Oh snap.
Using God's gift. Defiling it. Let's see.
Talking about we're talking about the guns, the best advice I've ever had is I knew a guy, he had a Taurus semi-automatic, I think it was a 9 Slim. Problems with its stovepiping, sent it back to the factory. He got it back, then worked on it, then he had failure to feed issues. No, I'm sorry, failure to extract, not failure to feed. Sent it back to the factory, got it back a third time, ran 50 rounds through it, and he was like, this thing's been back to the factory twice. I can never trust my life to it, no matter how many rounds.
Yeah,
if I
that's
put 1,000 rounds through this gun, I'm always concerned the next round isn't going to work. So
yeah, and stovepiping,
if I keep it...
Stovepiping is bad because it requires you to, like... Well, in the same case, failures to extract, you have to mechanically do something. It's like a jam to clear,
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, it only had one job, and it didn't do it. You know what I mean? So he was like, I can never carry this. I can never have it in the car. I can never have it around the house. It is forever going to stay in the safe as a toy. And he was like, if it is only a toy and I can never trust it, I shouldn't own this gun if I can't trust it, you know what I mean? So he just dumped it. I think he took a loss on it. He told the guy what was up with it. The guy was like, it's fine. I just want something to play with in the backyard. He was like, all right, I'm just telling you, he did disclosure with the guy, gave him all the papers. And he was like, I washed my hands of it. You should never have something you have to...
Yeah, it's a liability.
I have no problem filing magazines. I had no problems polishing ramps or, things of that nature. But when you gotta keep fucking with a gun to make it work, at some point you just say, maybe I should have bought Atlantic Arms AKs, where I gotta build it again to make it better,
Out of a cardboard box.
Yeah, like maybe buying a $300 AK wasn't a good idea. Maybe I should have spent some more money on this. Like, you get what you pay for, and you shouldn't have to work on it.
The only thing I could see... Excuse me, hold on. Motherfucking goldfish. The only benefit I could see you getting from it is that, like, you could learn why it's doing it like that and try and fix it yourself and then learn more. But other than that, yeah, it's just a loss.
Yeah. I don't want to... I get it. My buddy is in the process of teaching me ARs, but that's entirely different. This is not, jigs and kits and all that. I'm good. You ever build anything
Apple, what's up?
Nothing.
How are you not tired? What kind of drugs are you doing?
I don't do any.
What?
I don't do any.
Oh, okay. You sound much more lucid the second time. I don't know.
She's a cool kid.
She's on that government shit. This super adrenochrome. Apple, what the hell?
What?
What did you join
She's
in here
on that
for?
bone on a string.
You tagged me.
Oh, well, yeah. I was gonna have you argue with Fed, but look at him. Look at what he did. Fucking stood me up. Someone call in here and argue with Apple.
Wow.
I mean, I can go get Roja from the construction site and go see if on him tomorrow.
Let's see. Anyways.
I think I'm fixing to get off anyway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back in general to delete
Apple,
the
everybody.
since
Base
apparently I'm...
underscore Apple underscore butter. On
She's
D-Live.
base. Everyone should go follow Apple.
Find her things. Are you still Hollow Apple on Twitter?
Yeah. Hollow Apple 1.
Hollow Apple 1. Hollow Apple 1.
Have you-
Beep beep beep. Boop boop.
Have you contacted Hollow Apple to ask how much they would sell it for?
She's already
What?
moved on, so
Yeah.
you can change your ad if you want.
Yeah, but not if someone's using it. Like, I don't know how much
I meant
they
to, like,
paid.
Whatever.
Oh.
What's your Trovo called?
I don't have a Trovo.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, people mix up their names a lot. Flow Euphoria on every single platform. Luckily,
Ooh.
that girl on Instagram is totally me though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm not going back and deleting the porn. I went back and deleted the girl.
Oh
with the gun.
no! Listen, that
And,
doesn't apply to you. You're a higher class. You've got
No, hear
you've
me
got a
out. So I
color
went all
on
the
your
way
name.
back up like a month ago. I deleted something, and then it put me at the very bottom of the general all over again. And I'm like, I'm not doing this 30 times just to delete Pierce dicks. Like, I'm
Oh
good.
yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't know if
Well.
I don't know about all of that, but
So-
I'm fine with it. They're marked in
So real
SFW.
quick, in closing, Apple, what is your dream gun that is obtainable for under 30 grand?
Sort of shotgun.
Yeah, just any shotgun that's been sawed.
No,
hold
Sure,
on.
it's like a Saiga 12 that has like a saw was applied to the barrel like for one stroke. That's the
No.
sawed off shotgun that
She
she's
wants
talking
it
about.
to not shoot sideways. Side by side or pump? Or over under?
Fuck, semi-automatic.
Semi-automatic all the way.
Rotating barrels.
But-
DP12. Get it, say DP12. You want a DP12. A double penetration
what I
12.
want.
Have you seen one
No.
of those?
I have not.
Google
Put it on
DP12.
screen. It is in general. And 5, 4, 3,
I want a 12 gauge.
What?
Well, lucky for you, that's what a DP12
With the
is.
illustrious FPS Russia for the fucking win. I like the
Oh, man,
Keltec
that thing is
KSG.
so sexy.
If you can get used to rotating those barrels,
That's the one
No,
with
I
the
don't want that
rotating
one.
barrels, yeah. Yeah, you do. It's
I
got
don't want-
it's got
no, I
two
don't.
barrels. Every time you pump it, you get 2 shots.
I know. I don't want that.
I don't want
you don't want that bull puppy?
So, yeah, Saiga 12. Check that one.
I want a normal 12-inch.
A normal 12
No.
inch.
I'm a 12 gauge, not.
That's like a Freudian slip.
Type in, yeah, it is a Freudian slip. Type in,
Funny. I'm funny.
Benelli M4. Yeah, try that one.
Oh, we go high class now.
Mm,
Semi-automatic. It's more traditional, but still modern. Oh, do Mossberg Scorpion. That's a pump shotgun, but damn if they're not sexy.
well,
Okay. As long as it's not the Saul, you know what I mean?
Oh, what is the what was the shotgun that had like the big handle on it that you were supposed to be able to rack it with?
That's what I'm
one
talking
hand?
about.
That is.
I called it the Saul. I think it was like the shock. Was it the Mossberg Saul? I swear to God, it was the Saul. Hang on, Mossberg Saul. No. Yeah, here it is. I'm posting it right now. It's called the Mossberg 500 Chainsaw Shotgun is
Oh,
what it's normally
chainsaw,
called,
yeah.
but I always call it the Saul. Yeah,
Yeah.
because holding it up top so you fire it from the hip like a complete idiot is totally a better idea than aiming those stupid things. Because shotguns and TVs work that way, right?
no.
Yeah. It's
Let's get a street sweeper like a man. There's a
like
street
all my
sweeper
scent.
for sale, 2 cities over, and every time I go buy that thing, I'm like, I know I shouldn't, but I want it because I want a Tommy gun, but I also
But
want
I
a shotgun.
want it.
So a
Damn.
street sweeper is the best of both worlds. It's a Tommy gun. It's strong range.
You know, I just want the classic. Okay, I like classics. Double
What's it?
barrels
S-
are
s-
fine.
Well, you don't have a double barrel and a semi-automatic, so
I know.
Maybe
There you go, Apple. I
that's
found your
the
gun. It's in
DP12.
general.
That's the DP12.
Yes!
Well, it's a
the
pump
Mossberg Shockwave 6. I like that. I like that. I like that.
A fucking shockwave? Oh my god.
With the
You got a
pistol grip.
problem with
But
me?
it's
Because of
everything
the
that
can
you
deal
want.
goose,
with
because
it.
of the goose head grip on it, or what?
It's called a donkey
No.
dick. No, those are the AK handles. That's a goose stick. I'm sorry, it's a goose stick. That's what it's called.
Goose dick? It's a goose
You mean like
head.
yours? Oh,
What about
yeah.
I'm
the
noticing people left and right today, man.
the Mossberg is probably like the one I would end up buying, but the Remington TAC 14.
You know I love my Remingtons.
There, it's in
So
general.
would you take that over the
But
Serb? In general, is the Serbu super shorty, which I don't know the legality of. I don't know if that's an NFA item.
Oh, look at those. They're so adorable. So adorable.
They're good for what they are, you know what I mean?
I know.
If you had to shoot someone inside of a car,
Yeah, that's what I posted. I love the 4-inch. It's fucking everything it needs to be and nothing.
yeah,
You know what I
but honestly, the
That's perfect.
Mossberg has that that little strap that you put your hand in on the foregrip. That is entirely necessary for that firearm.
Well,
Yeah.
Damn, dude, check this out. Hold on. I'm gonna put it in general. It'll take it a second to load because it's a big image.
That is fucking sexy. I get why you like them things, Apple. See, I want to put a pistol grip on it, but then the wife can't shoot it.
Yeah, well then you go to jail too.
I live in Georgia.
Isn't that badass? That
What
case.
was the? What
no,
was the?
it reminds me of my
Once
violin
upon a time
case.
in Mexico.
Okay. No.
What'd you say?
Remember that?
Reminds me of violin cases.
No,
so
what
no.
did Joe say?
Once upon a time in Mexico. Antonio
Oh.
Banderas. He had the guitar case, and they just were loaded with fucking guns
Yeah.
at towards the end of the movie.
This is so ridiculous. A Remington 870 with a silencer, suppressor, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, I gotta find it. You would appreciate this, Flo. Let me see if I can find the picture. I found a pipe at work.
Oh, just
So I
chilling.
already deleted. Yeah, it was on the. It was just looking, and you know, it was there. And I was like, well, I must step with you. Oh, I guess I deleted it. It was like a 3-inch glass pipe. Like it was like a shotgun. You just loaded the weed in the end of it, and just held the lighter up to it like a short little crack pipe.
Triple crack pipe.
It was yeah, I already deleted it. Oh, I got the picture. Hang on. Because I sent it to my buddy, and I was like, "Hey, you need a weed pipe?" He was like, "No," and I was like, "But it's got weed in it, though." He was like, I don't want someone else's weed. I have weed." I'm like, whatever. I found weed for 3 for 3, so I'm paying for this. There you go.
All right, yeah,
Posted
Joe.
in general.
Oh, I guess I could plug this to Chimpin' Out podcast.
Oops.
Listen to episode 11 and fuck all the other shit. Oh, I'm gonna use that I'm gonna hack your phone, bro. I know everything about you.
Did you hear that? He already thinks about you all the time, therefore he's obsessed, therefore he wants you.
Yep, too late.
It is
I already
good.
streamed all of that. Damn.
Look who's talking.
I
Cole.
work in mysterious ways, bitch.
No, you don't. You're the most
What a
obvious
load of
person out there.
wank.
Yeah, you're
What
a load of wank. I know
wank.
that. the biggest wanker out there.
Lord have mercy.
You're
I'm
just
about to
jealous you're not
bust.
me. Already? Dang, you're easy.
Clever girl.
I know I am.
Gotcha, bitch.
No, you didn't. No, for 1 second. You what? You what? Is that what you say when you orgasm?
was a good person. Oh, no, you didn't. You know he was a fucking asshole.
I love that one. Even though it's a
That's
little long,
nice.
it's
That's
my
good,
favorite.
The
How
best part
long
is
did it
I
take
had
you to get
comebacks
that?
to every single
No,
one of them.
I remembered as soon as he said that. I might have clipped it, but I knew as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, that's a sound drop. I'll make a shorter version maybe where it's just like, you knew he was a fucking asshole, but I love the part in the beginning. He kept doing that like crying voice.
Nah.
Smoke weed every day.
Boom, boom.
It's in general. Got you a weed pipe. It's got weed in it.
I'm so heavy.
Because I'm born to fuck. Don't need to take the pleasure away.
Whoa!
What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, I'm just writing down
How
my
many
weight now,
hours
how
have
much
you been
I'm heavy.
awake at this point?
Too many.
Do you realize you have streamed longer today than you did most days? Because, like, me, you, Flo, were podcasting, and then you were podcasting.
I'll be the best sex you will ever have.
No, you won't. You'll be disappointing.
Disappointing. You disgusting,
Yes.
mate. Fucking pathetic.
Yeah. Get it from you.
Right. You gonna force us offline, are you? Okay. You got a license? You got a license for that?
Yeah.
You better fucking produce it.
I don't have to. Biden already did.
Or you better let me see. You better let me see your little license.
Like I care.
I have crippling depression.
Alright. Alright. That's, Apple. Do you want to plug anything? Oh, that thing looks gross.
What looks... Oh, yeah. Name's Apple.
Yeah, that's very... It'll be really easy to find.
Just type in base Apple.